All right, welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. We want to talk about the Emirates Cup championship game. And as you can see, we got Dominique with us, who been incognito for so long, out there doing her thing with her daytime job, you know what I mean? So she haven't been night owling. So I drug her in here today, y'all, because y'all been asking about it. So Dominique from Sports T is in the house. We both seen the game. It was a good game. It was a physical game. And it was a game that I think at the beginning of the I say the first quarter it was like a push and pull that was kind of filling each other out, and then San Antonio was able to squeak out a lead in the second quarter, going to the halftime with a lead. And in the third quarter, they actually took the lead to double digits, but I think they shot all their bullets out. I mean, they emptied the clip in the third quarter, and it just wasn't enough because when the fourth quarter came and they went cold, that's when your New York Knicks came in and was able to pull out the win. And Jalen Brunson was the MVP. OG Anunoby played real good. Mitchell Robinson was on the offensive glass heavy with the putbacks. Hustle points was all over the place with Josh Hart and all those guys. Carnegie Towns, of course, chipped in, but he got hurt, and he wasn't much of a factor in the fourth. So I don't know. What did you see? What was your thoughts on how the game went, start to finish?
Man, I thought that the Knicks deserved to lose the game initially. The way that they were playing, I thought that Karl Anthony Towns could have been more of a factor. What I didn't love was Wemby in this game. And I'm really tired of the load management of Wemby. I think he is so spectacular. I think he's just sensational to watch. And it's like every time he touches the floor, it feels like a gift. And we don't know when how they're going to play him throughout the game. We can almost guarantee that he's not going to have a lot of minutes down the stretch, it feels like. And I don't understand that. That was the glaring thing for me that I did not enjoy, was not seeing him in the fourth quarter.
I mean, so you gotta give credit to the Spurs head coach, because without Wemby, they still, they got the same record as the Knicks. They're keeping on pace with some of the top teams in the West, like Denver and stuff like that. So the Spurs did well without Wemby. They did well with him as well, but without Wemby, they still did well. So bringing him back from the injury, you don't have to force him back into the lineup and give him the heavy minutes right away, especially if it's so easy in the season. So I don't mind it, but I'm with you.
Impactful moments then. So don't play him a lot of minutes, but why can't he play down the stretch then? It's
he did.
I don't know. I don't. Where was he down the stretch? Where was he?
He was out there. It was just, it was all Knicks by that point, though. It was all Knicks. This is what I don't like about.
But what I don't think he was played properly in the fourth quarter, and I think when you take a look at that game, it's almost like like, I don't want to say it's devaluing, but look at what SGA is doing, like sitting out every damn fourth quarter, of the game. It's just, I don't like what they're doing with Wemby. I think he needs to be on the floor in the most important moments of the game.
Yeah, I think he was, though, Dom. He played the beginning of the fourth, and they pulled him out with about 9 minutes left, and they put him back in with about 4, maybe 5 minutes left. So I like I said, I don't mind it. What I do mind about Wemby is that everything is perimeter for him. Well, I ain't gonna say everything, because he does rim run, and he does dive out after he sets screens and become a lob threat. He does do that, but I think in the half court setting, I want to see him set at 7'4", get on the block, and that's one dribble into a jump hook or sky hook or some type of hook, or you can go into your fadeaway if you want to, or turn and face, and whatever the case, get closer to the basket and get in the post. But the way they run their sets is always high post with Dirk. He operates in that Dirk Nowitzki area, But even Dirk went in the low post. Even, he didn't just stay on the elbow all the time. Chris Webber used to use the elbow. Karl Malone used the elbow. But you got to get in that low post. You got to put some fouls on some of these dudes. Like, I don't know how many fouls Mitchell Robinson had, but he didn't have to guard Wemby in the post. So that's what I don't like about what Wemby is doing. And hopefully it changed, man. But he got such an advantage and he's not using it.
I'm trying not to beat him up for that so much because of the way that the game has changed. I'm trying to take that out of my mind in a sense. I try, but when you take a look at players like Dirk and when you take a look at the credit and the adulation that a Jokic gets, right? Like Dirk Nowitzki to me played in the way that they're saying that Jokic does. You know what I'm saying? Or that even you're saying that you'd love to see Wemby do a little bit more of. And I just think that it could totally separate him. But it's not today's game. They don't play with that kind of level of footwork down low, Mel. You know what I mean?
Man, it should. It's a couple of people that have tried. I mean, Jokic does it. Embiid, when he was healthy, he does it. Even SGA go down there, like, I just like,
if you can play down there, it's such an advantage because how many people are doing it? It's not so many people doing it. So that to me is what makes it an advantage. But Wemby, he dribbles the ball a lot. I think I've seen him improve that this season. But what I noticed is that the Knicks won today. That's what I noticed. And they're either going to be, and so listen, they're either going to be the first team that, can make it to the title game or maybe even win a title after winning the in-season tournament. But, them winning this game is more concerning to me than them having lost because no one has won the in-season tournament and gone to the finals or won the title. So OKC went to the in-season tournament last season. They lost and they went on to win the title. But even prior to that, the Lakers, I think, were swept in the first round. So I get nervous when I see a team win this game because what does that mean? And when you took a look at Jalen Brunson's face, he wasn't excited about this win because there's no history yet of a team winning this and then the title. So
why you think that is? You think that's psychological?
I don't think it's psychological. I think that when you take a look at the teams that won those games, they weren't. It's where you're at in the season. It's more of a reflection of the state of the league and less of a reflection of the two teams that are in that final game. It's okay. Is every team playing at a high level right now? Is our team members available on teams? Is everybody playing? As you get closer to the end of the season, you begin to see who the real contenders are. And so the in-season tournament doesn't necessarily reflect that. And so we need to see the Knicks beat the good teams throughout the season in order for this win to mean something to me. I think anytime the Knicks win anything, whether it's a regular season game or this game right here, people are going to celebrate. It feels good in the Garden when we win. It feels good throughout the New York City streets when we win. People are probably, they're probably hooting and hollering, knocking people over. All hell is breaking loose right now in New York City in season win. But we know that, going to the finals is really the bar. Mike Brown is by far and away a better coach than Thibodeau, but he's going to be judged based on whether or not he can take the Knicks to the finals this season. That is going to be the bar.
Yeah, I was telling people this Mike Brown thing was a good idea. Hate to see Tibbs get fired on a team that he led past the first round in the playoffs. Like they play pretty good in the playoffs, but his flaws was just it was just crazy. And you see how Mike Brown got the ball out of Brunson's hands a little bit more than what Tibbs did. Like Mike Brown got that ball moving. It's not sticking in Brunson's hand. It's not all screen roll with Brunson. It's not hero ball. It's more of a team oriented offense. I like what he's doing. I like what Mike Brown is doing. So shout out to him too. But before we go a little bit deeper with the Knicks, I want to talk about San Antonio first, because San Antonio, if you look at how they are constructed and you look at how they play and you look at the pieces that they're putting on that roster, it's very similar to OKC Thunder. Right, where it's similar, but it's different in some areas. Where it's similar is where they got a lead guard that is all-star level. SGA and De'Aaron Fox, but SGA is on a superstar level. De'Aaron Fox is on an all-star level, right? So I would give SGA an A plus and De'Aaron Fox a B, but it totally flip-flops when you look at Wemby and Chet. Wemby is the A plus superstar level on San Antonio, and Chet Holmgren is the B all-star level player. But they both are rim protectors. They're both long centers that can space the floor. They can shoot it. They can put the ball on the floor and get to the hole. Very similar. So SGA and Fox, Chet Holmgren and Wemby, very similar. Then you got someone like Jalen Williams, who's another all-star level guy. That's a wing, and then you got Stephon Castle on San Antonio side. They both play defense. They both can score. They both can shoot it a little bit. Very effective. And then all the other guys around them, like the Carusos and the Harrison Barnes and the Dylan Harpers and the Lou Dorts, like they're all very similar. Hartenstein would be similar to Luke Cornett. Everything's very similar to what they're doing. Everything's similar. And once this season started, I saw OKC, Houston, and Denver being the top three teams. But now I'm probably looking at San Antonio being right behind OKC. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think that they're right behind OKC in real time. That I don't really believe. But I do think that they're behind them in a sense. So I think that they're the next team to ascend in the West as far as who could be seen as the next dynasty again in the West. So like OKC is really strong, and I think they're going to be strong for years to come. And I think that that will be Wemby and his team when OKC either starts to maybe fall apart a little bit or descend. And so I think it's actually reverse what you said. Popovich, the Spurs, they've always sort of built their teams through the draft. They've always kind of built teams in this way. OKC is copying their blueprint that they've had for years of building teams and really growing players and getting them young and breeding young teams into champions. And they never usually repeat. So what I'd love to be able to see OKC do is repeat. They need to repeat. They need to show us that good basketball is going to win, and it's going to keep winning. And hopefully, this is going to be the brand of basketball that we continue to see for years to come. Offense, defense. So, the Spurs, I think they're going to be sort of like an offspring, like a baby, another baby of basketball coming back. So OKC.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. I mean, I definitely like what they're doing. So if San Antonio not right behind them, right behind OKC, who you think right behind OKC?
It's hard to say. I would want the Spurs to be behind them in the real world, but I just think that like you say, I go to a place of cynicism, Mel, where the NBA is going to pick. We have to continue to see where the story unfolds. So, I think there's a throne right now for real basketball, and that's OKC. And we have to see who emerges as like their villain in the West, or, the NBA is going to begin to write a story at some point, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, they would want it to be Denver and Jokic. That's what they want.
That's what I think they want as well. That's what the media is pushing for. That's what content creators are pushing for. Jokic, to me, that it's just lackluster basketball. I don't care about the offense when you cannot run, jump, or dunk the ball. That's not good. Like, that's not what I want to see. So, how certain people remember when SGA started to ascend, and or even Aaliyah Boston started playing well and winning games with Caitlin Clark or for Caitlin Clark, and certain group of fans said, that's not what we want to see. That's great. You won the game, but that's not what we want to see.
Yeah, that's crazy. What I mean? I always thought that was diabolical, man. That is insane.
That's not what we want to see.
$5 super chat came in and said, Sports C, where you been? You made my top 5 yearly recap and hadn't seen a video of yours in a month. That was counting.
Well, I want to first say thank you guys for, tuning in. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy, Mel. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. I missed you guys. So I know it's Sports Tea and Man Down, Man Down, Stay Down. Sports Tea, Sports Bays. You guys are my bays, honestly. You guys are my bays in sports. And really, I want you guys to know that you're before anyone else. So we come in here, we leave it, all in this room together. And I just want to keep coming back and doing this with you. So thanks, Mel, for, letting me come back tonight. And guys, I hope, we're going to keep the train running. We're going to keep the train moving. Basketball is so exciting this season. This is the season to, for us to have a lot of fun together. So
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm back.
Hey, this guy said Tibbs would have never played Colett tonight. I agree with that. He would have never went that deep in his bench, and he came in and he paid dividends, dog.
But that's the thing, like Tibbs, there are things that I really appreciate about him. His toughness. I think he has a level of toughness that Mike Brown does not, but that level of toughness also goes hand in hand with his hard-headedness, his inflexibility. And when you're coaching and you're dealing with different players and you're matching up against different teams, you have to be willing to adjustments that we say that word so often, right? But people don't really understand what it means. It's not just making an adjustment in the game to, change the course of the game. How are you adjusting your coaching style to where your players are at and their developmental needs? How are you adjusting your coaching style to the competition? Before you get into that game, not just mid-game, not just in the fourth quarter, but all throughout, even in a practice. You might have to adjust your coaching style in a practice. I don't think Tibbs was flexible to make any adjustment. And quite frankly, he was insubordinate. When your boss that pays you, that signs those paychecks, gives you a direction to do something and you do not do it, what do you think's going to happen? What happens in the real world? Eventually you get fired. And there's only so much that the court of public opinion can do for you when you are not listening to your boss. And they told him to go into his bench. They told him to rest the players sometimes. They told him to stop playing them 80 minutes. If you guys don't think he was given direction that he failed to execute, it wasn't just get them to the finals. It was all those other things.
Yeah. He got the attribute. He got all the attributes, everything you name, his toughness and all that stuff. That are all attributes to be a very good assistant coach. Exactly. A very good assistant coach. I mean, he made his name in Boston with Doc Rivers. He he coached that defense. He was that guy. And Doc, what you just said about Mike Brown might be similar to Doc. Like I think Doc needed Tibbs, and I think Mike Browns can benefit from a Tibbs, but Tibbs being the guy who making the final decisions on everything, probably not the best idea. He's probably not he probably never get another head coaching job for real. But if he want to be an assistant,
he was absolutely brain dead in late game situations. I mean, literally the looks on his face would be that of like, I am completely lost. He would do this, like a squinty eye. It was
the hair plugs alone though. Is
everything. And I like Tibbs, but you can tell that things were breaking down. The him and Rick Brunson, he's gone too. They fired his dad. So the Knicks wanted a change and they wanted the locker room to look and feel different. They wanted, obviously, it to be a little bit more professional, clearly. They wanted a coach that was going to follow direction and do what was best for the team, not for themselves, not for their ego, not for what they just, think it should be. You have to do what's best for the team.
So as a Knicks fan, you on board with this Mike Brown. You know what I'm saying? You like this. I don't know if you was on board when it first happened though.
No. So I'm still not on board with Mike Brown. I don't think that he's necessarily the answer. I think that they needed to take some more time and figure out who they were going to bring on as a head coach. Obviously, you don't have necessarily all that much time, but I think Don Staley would have been a better choice.
Dominique, I need you to stop it right now.
I think any one of the Van Gundy's could have been a better coach.
I get it.
I don't like Mike Brown, so I don't love Mike Brown, but I think that he's smarter. I think he's smarter than Thibodeau. So I think it's an up.
No, but tell me why you don't like him though.
Because he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything in my opinion.
No, he has.
He hasn't done
who's a better coach right now, Mike Brown or Steve Kerr?
That's not even a question. My dog is a better coach than Steve Kerr. I am a better coach.
Okay, so who's your top 5 coaches in the league right now? I know this is on the spot, so we'll collaborate on this.
Doc Rivers is the top.
You think Doc is a top? Okay, so that's a name.
5 coach. Sorry, let me just mute my phone.
Yeah,
Doc,
put that on mute
I
because
like
yeah.
Kenny Atkinson. I love
Wait,
Carlisle.
wait. Okay, I give you, I give you
I,
Atkinson. Okay,
I like OKC's coach.
I
Super
do
cute.
too. That's 3.
Uh, I
You
would
like
say
Eric Spoelstra in Miami, right?
I love Eric Spoelstra.
Okay, so that's 4.
And I
I
also
think Mike Brown is in there.
no, no,
Okay, we'll keep going. All right,
no,
you like JJ Redick?
no. I like JJ Bickerson. Probably said that wrong.
Okay, JB. Okay,
Uh,
biggest is it
the,
bigger staff?
something like that. The
Yeah, bigger
Pistons head
staff.
coach. I really
I
enjoy
like him too.
uh,
In Detroit, yeah. What
I
about so that's
I
5.
like Charlotte's coach. I love
No. You're not about to go. You're not gonna go lead before you go Mike Brown. That's absolutely no
I'm
way.
telling you who I like. I don't like what Mike Brown did in Sacramento. I
But
don't
wait. But
I don't
listen,
like
listen, listen.
done. I
What
don't
have Lee done in Charlotte?
I like what he says, okay? I like how he's coaching the team. I like how he's inspiring those players. I like the moments that they've had that have been positive. You can't expect a whole lot out of Charlotte. You can go back, like, look, you can put your chair back. Mike Brown got up there in the garden with yellow ass teeth tonight. Yeah, New York. What the hell?
He
No,
bought y'all a cup though. He
no,
bought y'all a cup. So
okay.
let's talk about Sacramento. I think his last year in Sacramento got it got I ain't gonna say sabotage, but it got destroyed by the front office.
But you're part of it. I just he hasn't had for me, there hasn't been anything stand out. I felt bad for him when he got fired because of LeBron. Like he's had some bad shakes, but like I said, just because you've had a bad, it's just like Grant Hill. I don't blame him for his career. He got injured, but if you get something right, just because I would say the same thing. He didn't do anything. Like what makes Grant Hill a good coach? I don't know.
Well, I like what Mike Brown did in Sacramento, except for the last year. But I understand what happened the last year. But you got to understand how good they were. They bring in Malik Monk. They're using him off the bench. They
I don't
got De'Aaron
interrupt
Fox. He's
you,
rising. They get
before I
Sabonis.
forget
Like they draft Keegan Murray. Like it was a whole lot of good stuff going on in
before I forget this,
Sacramento.
do you remember when they got knocked out, I believe in the first round by the Warriors? And De'Aaron
Um,
Fox broke his finger
I
or something like
I
that?
do remember. I don't know if it was the first round. I remember a first round knockout, and I remember
It was the first round.
maybe they was in the play-in too as well. But
They had a really good opportunity to beat the Warriors. Okay,
I agree.
they looked really good. I think this was the
They looked good all last. They
I-
looked good all that season.
and
I
so
mean, that was a good team.
they looked great. And so for me, when De'Aaron Fox hurt his finger, I feel like it's coaching that comes into play in that moment. And I still feel like they could have won that series. I think that the Warriors, it was like a wave that nobody could stop, and they could not stop that wave in
Well,
motion.
so that means you got to give Steve Kerr credit. If you're gonna take that loss and credit that to Mike Brown, then you have to credit that win
No, you
for the
don't.
Warriors to Steve Kerr.
No, you do not.
Why not?
No, you do not, because it's all about why the Warriors, what they were able to do. So I'm talking about what Mike Brown was able to do without his star player on the floor. And, the Warriors, in fact, won that series, and they won multiple series and the title.
They went to 7 games. They went to 7 games, and Steph
And,
scored 50 points in Game 7. And
that's,
then
and they
in
won
order for them to
of Steve.
to get to Game 7,
They
it
won
was very fishy officiating, like
they won
100%.
they won in spite of Steve Kerr. I don't, I cannot point to any decision that Steve Kerr made throughout that title run. I thought he had dementia. I remember screaming at the television at Steve Kerr. Steph Curry was the reason for the first time that they actually won a title. I'm sorry. That 2022 title, that Finals MVP win, he deserved it. That was his. That to me was the only title fully earned where it was like, wow, he didn't have so much. He had a depleted Clay. He had triple single Draymond. Like when you take a look at that team, yes, there was some poorly officiated moments, but he was the reason.
No, it wasn't just poorly officiated moments. It was poorly. I ain't even gonna say poorly. It was
Orchestration.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Warriors had a 6-man, and that 6-man was wearing stripes. I mean, it was obvious to me,
There will
honestly.
be a
But
documentary on that, Mel.
no, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like Lakers Sacramento back in the day, back in the early. So it wasn't that bad. But no, it was bad. The Sacramento Kings were the better team. They were just trying to help the Warriors out, and they helped it get to a game 7. And I think they officiated the game 7 because they was going to let them figure out who was going to advance, and the more experienced team with the better player and Steph Curry advanced, and he went for 50. You know what I mean? So, but I hate when they kind of use the whistle to even the scales for more exciting series, and then get it to a game 7 and then say, okay, we go be fair, we're not gonna call nothing this game, and then the better team lose. Because if you wouldn't have tipped the scales to help the lesser team even the scales, then Sacramento probably would have beat them in 5 or 6. You know what I mean? So, and that's what happened with OKC and Indiana in the finals, man. Like, at home, SGA would get calls. In Indiana, he would get no calls. And those, the games was just being, it was being officiated so different, whether you was in OKC or Indiana. And then they took it to a game 7.
You're so smart, Mel. You're smart. You see that. If we think for a second that like the players, the coaches, the people on the floor don't see who the game is tipping to, you have to win in spite of that. And I always it's just like when the Celtics beat the Mavericks. The refs weren't working for the Celtics. They would have
series was this?
When the Celtics beat the Mavericks in the finals.
Oh, in the finals. Okay.
I mean, the Mavs got helped, but Luka Doncic was so awful that there was nothing that they could do. You couldn't help that. You could not help that. And it got to a point where they stopped helping him and they just let him throw his tantrums because he was so awful on defense. He was so, you just can't cover everything up. You can't cover everything up in the finals. That's where people get exposed. And
they left him out to dry.
Yeah.
They bought him that far just to bring him that far.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you're on your own now, big dog. You're on your own. But nah, I like Mike Brown, man. We'll see what he do with the Knicks. It seems like they enjoy playing for him, and it's not frustrating watching them. Like that. This is the first time I actually sat down because they got out to a slow start, and I was like, man, it's gonna take longer than I thought for them to put it together. But slowly but surely they got it. They got it under control. To play some Mike Brown ball. They had to get rid of them old habits, and I mean. Just that small adjustment of trusting your bench and coming on. I mean, letting Clarkson play extended minutes in the fourth, like he made big buckets and a lot of good plays for that young kid, Kolick. I mean, that would have never happened with Tibbs, man. So just that small adjustment right there is big. And the defense was, I mean, I can't say enough. I mean, it was a really good game, and it didn't seem like it was so much Jalen Brunson. It didn't like, when
you just comes from going to the goddamn bench. Like, so that's why I don't, again, where he's better than Tibbs by a wide margin is that we're able to watch basketball. You notice that, right? So we're able to watch more basketball and not just hustle play and not just, out there playing for your damn life. And literally, you're playing for your life because, you're not going to be able to sit down. So, I just think we get to see more basketball, and what we get to see we're able to see them play more as a team. We're able to see what everybody can do. We're able to see, hopefully, what the Knicks can look like consistently throughout the season. Like the Knicks can look like this all season long into the playoffs.
The East is wide open, Dominique. I mean, it's just Detroit. I mean, the Cavs ain't world beaters. And the crazy thing about Detroit being at the top of the standing in the East is they only got Cade Cunningham and role players. Like Cade Cunningham don't even have a second star like these other MVP candidates got. Like SGA got Jay Will. He was an all-star last year. Yeah. And Jokic got Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. right? They both put up 50 this year. You know,
What do
Luka
you
got
think
Austin
about
Reeves is averaging more points or just as much points as Luka is and has played more games. So he scored more points than Luka this season. You know, he got that and he got LeBron. So like all Kate Cunningham got his Durant. So we just a side note, we got to show Kate Cunningham a little bit more love for MVP. You know, with his degree of difficulty. I got him third right now behind Jokic and SGA. But if they're able to win at a high level, I could see him being number two. But as long as OKC go have this crazy huge gap between their win column and everybody else's, SGA is the MVP. But that's the side note. But back to the East, Detroit can be beat. It's just Cade.
I mean, I think that they can be beat. What do you think about Giannis to the Knicks? Do you think that that's a possibility for real?
Not if Karl Anthony Towns gonna keep going down with this calf injury, because he's the trade piece for Giannis, right? He's got to be.
I don't see how they can keep Anthony, Cat, if they're going to bring Giannis over there. I don't see how, and I'm for it. I'm for bringing Giannis to the Knicks. They're gonna go to the final.
It's New York. It's New York. It's New York, and it might happen, and it might be Cat and OG and Anunoby, and maybe a draft pick.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that
keep OG. I would want to keep OG and Anunoby, but I would do that trade.
Yeah, it changes your team, and it almost makes it look like Milwaukee last year with Dame Lillard, right?
You have Brunson more reliable.
Yeah, so what the Knicks got right now is a center in Karl Anthony Towns that can stretch it to the 3-point line, so he can help space the floor, and he can also go in the post and occupy the middle, so he can do both. You know what I mean? So when you get Giannis there, you don't have that 3-point threat from your big, and you definitely not gonna have it in Mitchell. So you don't have a big that's going to give you floor spacing like Cat. So that changes things, right? Then Giannis like to do stuff with the ball off the dribble,
but he'll be allowed. That's why I want him, because some pieces of real basketball don't matter once you have Giannis on the team, or any, if we bring, I'm here for it. Give me a European to the Knicks.
Yeah. Somebody said no love for Durant. Yeah, Durant's not a star, dog. I like Durant. He's really good, but he's not a star. Like he's not even at the McDice level yet.
I wish he could steal Şengün. I liked Şengün. That's who I like.
Yeah, that's no way.
I love Alperen Şengün.
Yeah, I do too. But there's no way. That's not possible. Houston got to figure out a way where they can beat Denver, man. Like that's two games that they dropped in there. Like they got to figure out a way to beat those guys. Like you just can't keep coming in here playing close and thinking that's okay. Like show me that you're better than them. You know what I mean? So
I think they are. I think that Kevin Durant has declined. No, I think he's declined.
He has declined. He's old. All them dudes past 35 has declined. Steph declined. LeBron declined. KD declined. They all declined. But it's not just on KD. They got, like you said, Şengün. They got Thompson twin. They got Smith Jr. Reed Shepherd is playing phenomenal. They got a great coach. Defensive minded players. Like they got what they need. KD don't have to daggone play hero ball at all.
I would, if they had a player like Mikal Bridges instead of KD, I think that they can beat Denver.
Mikal Bridges didn't even finish the game tonight. You going way too far now.
I love Mikal.
You going way too far.
He played in the game though. He played 100%.
They would be playing 500 ball right now if Mikal Bridges replaced Kevin Durant right now. I mean, they tried that with Dylan Brooks last year in the place of Kevin Durant, and they choked up on a glizzy in the playoffs. So that's why they got traded. Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks.
You didn't see Dylan Brooks in those clutch shots for the Suns?
I did. I like him beside Booker for the Suns. Yeah, I like him. I always like Dylan Brooks though.
Me too.
Yeah, I always liked him. Um, what else you want to say about these Knicks before we move on?
I'm just on my New York-ish. I should have worn my jacket tonight.
I wore mine. Yeah, definitely hit the like button, y'all. As y'all, if y'all just now joining, man, hit the like button, hit the share button as well. Hey, man, the GOAT was in the news, man. You know what's going on with this NASCAR lawsuit that was going, that happened?
I love it. I love what Michael Jordan did. I think that he's constantly like sort of reshaping what it means to be an owner. And I mean, in a sport that's predominantly not for us, what he's been able to accomplish there, I think is really good.
Well, so evidently they reached a settlement with that lawsuit. And I guess he was suing NASCAR for having a monopoly and all this other things that they was doing that was kind of holding teams back from sharing the revenue and getting money and stuff like that, man. So while having a team like that, think about it. That's like an NBA team owner suing the NBA. The last time I seen that happen was when Donald Trump was with that football league that was supposed to rival the NFL. I want to say it was called maybe, was it the American Football League? I'm not sure what it was called, right? But Donald Trump owned the team in New York, and they had 2 successful seasons. And then after a while, they decided, yeah, it's time to sue the NFL for being a monopoly. Because they're holding us back from actually really the USFL. Thank you. Holding us back from really going into financial freedom and wealth. Right. And they won the suit. But the only problem with that is the judge only rewarded them $1 or something like that. Like, it's real talk, man. Like the NFL cut them a check for $1, man. And the commissioner at the time, he said, they interviewed him. He said, I still got that check in my framed in my desk. You know what I mean? But that it's kind of like that, man. Jordan is a current team owner in that NASCAR, and he's suing the owner of NASCAR, which is the French family. And I just thought it was funny, man. I'm gonna pull this interview up because that guy beside him with the glasses is the guy who owned it. So they come out with a settlement agreement, and it's supposed to be like a lot of money, dog. You know what I mean? They owe a lot of money. It was insane. So I just want you to see how the GOAT. I just want you to see how the GOAT is having this conversation and watch this dude face beside him, dog. While Jordan is saying, "Yeah, we're both happy. We're both happy."
Did you feel like it was worth it?
Well, I mean, both parties feel like it's worth it because we understand we had to work together. I mean, compromise in every negotiation is one of the toughest things that you can do. And I think that you can say that we both compromised on both of our agendas. And I think we both come to the conclusion that it's better to the sport.
There's so much family history wrapped up here, not just for you, Mr. France, but also for you, Mr. Jordan. Can you talk about just what it means to you from a legacy point of view?
Well, I grew up watching his father build this sport, and I didn't want to have to tear it down. I don't think he wanted to be torn down, but I think under calmer circumstances, we actually voiced what our interest may have been, collectively. And at the end of the day, we reached some type of compromise. And to me, that's in every negotiation. That's in every, agreement. As I'm very happy we stand on this step to move forward as opposed to moving separate. Only way this sport's going to grow is we have to find some.
So anyway, the dude just don't lose, dog. Mike, like he don't lose. Like this dude went in there. I thought he had no chance in getting a settlement or winning the case. Obviously, they was beating them up so bad during the law during the proceedings that they had to reach the settlement. Like I read an article. They said that the defense came in trying to prove something else instead of trying to prove that they didn't do what they was telling them that they was doing or accusing them of. They was trying to, I don't know. I guess they just thought old money was going to win for some reason, but they wasn't even prepared. So it got to the point they had to settle, and the settlement is insane. They're not really, huh?
Why do you think, Mel, in a lot of these ownership groups or, a lot of these sports, majority of the owners are familial, of the same background?
Mm,
It's to prevent stuff like this. It's to prevent antitrust. I mean,
yeah.
NBA, NFL, it's one big antitrust lawsuit waiting to happen. And what happens is they collect people. So in situations like this, it's a cabal essentially of ownership, and you collect others. So yeah, you might have a cabal of ownership where everybody's the same kind of person, and then you start to collect others that you want to pretend to elevate and maybe give a check to. And then it's a protection system that works upward and downward. So you collect people under you and you give them golden handcuffs, and then they're part of the protection ring, and then nobody does what Michael Jordan did. You know what I'm saying? Nobody becomes powerful enough to do what Michael Jordan did. And then Michael Jordan is the GOAT of all sports. So who knows who was willing to be on his side surrounding this, even if his
dude didn't look happy though.
I mean, you see the guy with the glasses, the guy behind him, even the guy, like all of them, none of them they all look almost like surprised and miffed by the fact that Michael Jordan gets to come out there and be winning no matter what. And he gets to
But look, Dom, how cool do you have to be? How cool do you have to be to look at this billionaire who owns NASCAR?
I didn't want to have to take you down.
Yeah, he said I sat and watched his dad build this sport. I didn't want to have to take it down, but
I didn't want to have to take it down. I mean, this is a guy I fully believe. I'm being really honest with you. I fully believe that Michael Jordan could take down the NBA if he wanted to. I believe he could. I just believe that he won't. I don't.
Obviously, he could have took down Nike. I've never seen a Nike athlete break loose and say, "Hey, I'm starting my own brand." And you can have them retros, but I want a piece of that too. But I'm starting my own joint.
Yeah,
and they let him go. And then once Mike did that, they was like, man, I hope nobody else get this smart. And they locked LeBron up for a lifetime contract. They said, man, we ain't gonna let the next one go.
Well,
we ain't gonna let the next one go. But look,
they're losing on that contract. Sorry.
Look, this is another story y'all can look up, y'all.
That lifetime contract is a losing contract.
You saw that go stupid. They probably making money off them LeBron. It's their fault if they make them wide, ugly shoes that you can't wear with no jeans.
They're on sale. Every last one.
You can only play ball in LeBrons. Like you can't throw them on like some Jordans and put some jeans on.
LeBrons in playing basketball though are great. They're comfy.
Yeah,
I think they're great.
But so look, here's another story that y'all can look up. There was a grocery store in Chicago. It was almost like a mom and pop store. It wasn't huge. I think they might have had. I think it was a chain. No, it wasn't mom and pop. It was a chain. They had a couple of them. All right, and they had this sale going on, and they had Michael Jordan's symbol on the flyers that they was passing out. I don't know why. They had the Jumpman symbol on it, and I think they had like a steak sale going on, and they had the Jumpman symbol. And Michael Jordan sued that grocery store and won the lawsuit and took so many. I want to say he won it for like $30 million. But that $30 million they had to fork up, bankrupt the whole franchise.
Wow.
And Michael Jordan is so petty that the $30 million was so minuscule to him that he gave all of it to charity the day after he got the settlement. So he put this grocery store out of business for using his symbol on a flyer, dog.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yo, this is insane work, dog. This dude is crazy. Jeffrey said MJ's team presented their case. They closed their case, and it was so strong that the French family just said settlement. That is funny, dog.
Settlement.
That is funny, man. I don't know if they go disclose the amount that the settlement is, but people have been estimating that it's gonna be I don't know, like maybe close to like $500 million, but then there's gonna be another $1 billion in other monies that was kept from the teams. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy. I think it's gonna be over $1 billion for sure.
Michael Jordan just keeps getting richer. He just gets to stack the wins, and he's just so classy. Could you imagine Kawhi Leonard going through something like that? And talking to us afterward? Could you imagine? It'll be Uncle Dennis up there.
How do you get up there and present yourself with so much class after you just went and got dirty in the mud with this dude?
Michael Jordan is just, man, he really is the GOAT.
Nah, he is. He is. Mikey Brass, what's up, big dog?
He's the GOAT. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, he is. Speaking of Michael Jordan being the GOAT, Jeff T was. Oh, we got a new member. Shout out to Godspace 5147. Appreciate you, dog. Thanks for becoming a member.
Salute to you.
Dominic, should we do some member content this weekend?
I think we should. I think we should do some member content this weekend. I'm free. I'm going to be home. And I'm definitely going to be getting back into recording. So guys, get ready. Sports Tea is coming back. And hopefully Mel and I will be working together a little bit more throughout these cold months.
Of course.
Heat.
All right. Speaking of the GOAT, Jeff T, Jeff T be flip flopping just as much as Gilbert Arenas does, but he said something that was I don't know. It's probably gonna make a lot of LeBron fans mad. It's whatever, but he pretty much said, "Man, look, the GOAT debate is like fake. Like we don't even believe it." Right? That's pretty much what he said. No, for real, that's what he said. He said that we just oh shoot, you know what?
I mean, I've said this before, so I feel like people are stealing my take. The whole idea that the GOAT debate doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. I've said all of this before. He's stealing from me. He was watching Sports Tea, and he's stealing my shit. So Jeff Teague, I appreciate you, but run me my money.
You'll be surprised how many people be watching content creators and getting
at least have us on. At least get us some subs, Jeff Teague. Like you stole my shit. Like you stole from me. I have been saying for years that the GOAT debate does not exist. There is no such thing as a GOAT in team sports.
Explain that a little bit more while I bring this soundbite up.
Just guys, to be clear, I think that there's great players. Every era is so different. It's so impossible to compare. And what a person would era, I think, is so hard to judge. You can't put today's player. I think a lot of today's players wouldn't even have made it to the NBA. A lot of them wouldn't have made it to the NBA during certain times. So it's so hard to place people in these situations, these hypotheticals. The GOAT discussion is about money. It's about marketing. It's about, that's all they have. That's all today's players have is this GOAT debate.
Yeah, it seemed like a good conversation to have, and it's fun, but what Jeff T was pretty much saying is we just do it for sport, and we all deep down inside know Michael Jordan is the true greatest of all time. But this how he said it.
Tom probably the only greatest in the sport that's not even arguing. Like people don't even argue about that. Yeah, because all right, time you got it to
90,000 yards. I don't think niggas really argue about Jordan. We just make it an argument. I think everybody in the world know Jordan the best ever, but we just try to make it an argument.
You think that?
Yeah, I like Bron because nigga, I grew up with Bron. So, like, he around my age, I'm going to give him but, like, when you watch Michael Jordan, you be like, bro, this shit don't even look real.
Yeah, bro.
You watching somebody fake.
Yeah.
It don't look real.
Yeah,
you be walking by niggas. You like, was they scared of him? You got to really think, like, these niggas must have been scared of him.
I fuck with Mike.
They were.
But I really fuck with Brian, bro.
Yeah,
I'm rolling
or that, a little.
I really.
Or niggas probably was just sad.
I ain't gonna
no disrespect. I'm just saying to him how it looked. It's a huge difference.
Oh, he made it very clear that he thought niggas was sad.
Yeah, but that's why I'm speaking for Mike.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna say that because when I watched, like, I played against Nick Van Exel when he was retired, and I watched that nigga give a person on our team like 12 straight, and I'm just like, and he fat, retired. And he giving Dante Jones just work, wham, wham, wham. And I'm like,
Nah, Nick was wrong. I'm saying,
but I'm saying in my head, you know what I mean? You like some of them niggas was sad, and then you obviously we know Nick Van Exel wasn't sad.
He was cold as fuck.
But we watching him, and I'm like, damn, he talking about Mike like, nigga, Mike, like,
nah, we know Mike is dead, bro.
And I'm looking at Quick like, nigga, you better than me. So nigga, you talking about Mike? How good was this nigga? Like he like Mike, man, nobody fucking with Michael.
To hear the way Mike talked about Clyde Drexler, like Clyde Drexler wasn't a premier player.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was
like,
saying
the way he was just like they compare him to me. I'm not.
Mike was pissed like them niggas was garbage, bro. Like,
yeah, he called everybody.
Brian ain't gonna say that because it's kind of you can't for real. Yeah. I don't know. I hate comparing them areas.
I don't like it either, but I'm just saying how much like greater Mike was to everybody than LeBron. Like LeBron's the greatest, right?
Yeah.
But like we be like KD. Like it was a talk like I might take KD.
Yeah.
Like I don't know Kobe. You know what I mean? Like Kobe. Yeah. It's Kobe Bron. Who you got? Like it was never like Mike and
it was Mike and Magic.
But nigga,
I'm saying, you
nigga,
got
Bob
KD,
Knight
James
said
Harden.
you got the number one pick. Dude said I need a center. Bob Knight said start Mike at center. Nigga.
100%.
And Bob Knight hated everybody.
But he hated everybody. He was like,
he was EBK for sure.
We got the number one pick. Who we pick? He was like, we need a center. He was like, start Michael Jordan at center.
Yes, bro.
A lot to unpack there. Let's start with
a lot.
Yeah. So let's start. I'm gonna try to remember all of it. Let's start with your thoughts on the GOAT debate just being a sport that we just do, and we just really we all really know what the real is. We just do it for sport.
Yeah, I do think that the debate it's part of a sport. It's almost like, okay, let me try to make this fit. How do I make LeBron into the GOAT? He's the player that we're all looking at. So how do I make this case? It's all about making a case now. People are like basketball lawyers out here. Let me make a case for LeBron. Let me make the case for Michael Jordan. But there really is no case. They are not even comparable. They are not even close. Like you're talking about LeBron's competition in his mind is Stephen A. Smith. It's Skip Bayless. These are the people that he thinks about for his motivation, and when he thinks about his legacy and stuff like that, he's fighting for his legacy against Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, the media. He's not really, I don't think he's really even believing that he's challenging Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, his competitors in his mind were Clyde Drexler. They were, they were actually real players. Who does LeBron James even view as a rival? Dylan Brooks? He's worried about what people say about him. He's not worried about the actual competition on the floor. They're not close. LeBron James is like a celebrity, a reality star. He's not a real basketball player. He ran from learning how to play real basketball. Eric Spoelstra was trying to actually help him become a real basketball player as far as like offense, defense, accountability, leadership, running real plays on the floor, playing off the ball, being in an actual position. He wanted him to play positioned basketball, and he ran away from that.
He definitely ran away from Miami. I won't go as far as you went though with saying he's not a real basketball player. I mean, he's still an all-time great. You know what I mean? You cut him, you be cutting him deep when you go in, but there's a lot of truth to what you said. But I got an example of what I think is going on with the GOAT debate, because you're right. People do engage in it just for the sport of debate. And it is a challenge to some people to say, can I win this argument? Obviously it's Michael Jordan, but can I win a debate against a Jordan disciple? Can I win this debate? Like, it's really content creators on YouTube, and one of them who actually wrote a book on how to win a debate against a Jordan person or a person who think Jordan is the GOAT, right? They got like, if they say this, you can hit them with it. Like these people really, this is a sport for real, dog. Right. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I don't know if I ever told you the story, but when I was in middle school, I had a friend that used to write poems to like girls at school. Like he'd write a poem, he'd give it to them at school, like in a note, right? And so he was the poem guy. We used to laugh at him about it. It's actually Jay's brother, right? It's Jay's brother, right? He was the poem writer. And And I remember I wore my sister's jean jacket one day. My sister was older than me. I had a jean jacket, and she had like written down, because back in the day you used to have to put the tape in there, and if you wanted to learn the lyrics, you had to play, write them down, stop. You had to do that. So she had the Sade. She had Sade's "Love Is a Gun" lyrics written down in the jean jacket, right? So when I found the lyrics and I pulled them out and I'm reading it, it was after school. I was right in front of Jay's house with his brother, and he seen me reading it. He snatched it and read it, and he was like, "Oh, you writing poems too, right?" And everybody was at the basketball court, and he was running down there to show everybody, "Oh, y'all laughing at me, but Mel write poems too." And I'm running behind him, trying to, stop him from doing this. I didn't even know where the letter came from. I didn't know it was Sade lyrics at first. So I'm running down there, and when we get down there, I'm telling everybody Shine wrote it. He telling everybody I wrote it. Well, make a long story short, once we both found out there was Sade lyrics, we had been going back and forth about who wrote it for so long, and it was like a inside joke with the whole crew, like who wrote "Love Is a Gun," who wrote "Love Is a Gun." And he did it like it was like it sparked so much debate, and it was so funny, especially when people that didn't know about this inside joke hear us arguing about it. They was intrigued by it, right? And we just kept it going. But me and Sean both knew it was Sade lyrics. You get what I'm saying? That's what's going on with the GOAT debate. People know it's Jordan, but the debate is it's either fun to people or a challenge to people that they want to accept, or something like that. But the truth is, we all know, and me and Sean both knew "Love Is a Gun." Neither one of us wrote it, but we like arguing about it.
Well, as LeBron James continues to play more and more, Mel, this debate it's going away. I mean, I don't know. I'm not taking the GOAT debate as seriously. I think the LeBron fans and the media are looking more and more foolish as he continues to play and say things like, "Oh, I can go for another 5 years." Nick Wright was saying that LeBron James could play for another 5 years.
Which means what? It means nothing to me.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's really just getting a little out of hand and exposed. When you take a look at Michael Jordan, he just didn't have a lot of the kinds of failures that LeBron James had in his career. I'm sorry, in the playoffs. These things are just not close. So like the LeBron fans, they have no explanation for these things. The meltdowns, the losses in the finals, they have zero explanation for.
Of course not.
Now, I mean,
but you
make it up.
But you said something cool when you said the GOAT debate is going away, which is interesting because not only is it going away, once it restarts back up with Wemby, or depending on what SGA do, if we find another player that we want to throw in the debate, they're going to be comparing them to Jordan.
Exactly. It's still
they're not going to be comparing them to LeBron.
It's never going to be LeBron. It's just never going to be LeBron. And Michael Jordan coming back to the NBA in any little bit, I think it's just continuing to expose those little 3-minute clips. No matter what anybody thinks about them, people are over the moon about it. No matter what you believe about it, Mel, and I fall different from you. I actually love it. So I love seeing Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but that's the "Love Is the Gun." That's a "Love Is the Gun" thing right there.
Because I don't view Michael Jordan as the GOAT. I didn't idolize him the way that other folks did growing up. I am a Knicks fan. It's totally different for us in New York. We really respecting Michael Jordan and idolizing and loving him is two totally different things. I mean, I love the player that he was now. Like I appreciate him differently now as an adult than I did growing up. But I don't feel, and I really have a disdain for the GOAT discussion. I have to have a gun to my head. I felt forced to participate in that discussion. I think it's wrong. I think it's disrespectful. I think Wilt Chamberlain is one of the best players that ever lived. We don't celebrate him enough. I think it's wrong to highlight one player in sports only when there's teams, when there's different players. I think that everybody from each era really needs to be celebrated. We need to put respect on the people that really built the game. The rules changed for Michael Jordan. People want to call him the GOAT, and I get that. And I'm fine with people calling Michael Jordan the GOAT. He's the best player I've seen with my eyes that I've been alive for. But the rules changed for Michael Jordan. He did go and cry to, to get, for some leniency. He was getting beat up. That was true, though. His crying was for a reason, but he did cry. He did. And the rules were Michael Jordan, and throughout the years, we saw it with every iteration of the league. Every single era had it a little bit easier if it was something, Bill Russell, they went through all of the civil rights and all that, crazy kind of stuff. Playing through that time was really hard. Even Magic Johnson, you go in the lane and you hear the announcer saying that Negro's got to be put in his place. Could you imagine playing in times like that? That would never happen. That would never happen today. So those kinds of circumstances, players today have no idea what it's like to play in that. We cannot compare. It's not apples to apples. And I think it's disrespectful for us to do it. I really do.
Yeah. Back to the rule change though. Like I hear that the rules change, but I wouldn't call it like a rule change. Because I think the way the game was officiated then was on the extreme. It was on the extreme where it wasn't really basketball. It was something more extreme. It was close to foot.
It was still something else though. That was their standard, and it got changed for Michael Jordan.
Hold on, let me explain it. Let me explain it. I think it was on the extreme, and they brought it to where it should be, which is called the game the way the rules say call it. So I don't think they changed the rule. I think the rules was what it was, and they wasn't abiding by the rules. They just wasn't.
All I'm saying is that things changed for Michael Jordan. Whether we want to say, oh, it was better basketball, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying it changed. It changed because he complained. And that's the bottom line. It doesn't matter whether it was right or wrong. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm not addressing that. I'm addressing the fact that the game changed to make it easier for him to score and for him to ascend. He was still Michael Jordan. He was still Michael Jordan, even with that contact, even with getting beat up. He had to fight through all of that, again, which today's players will never know that kind of journey and struggle. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to earn anything. They come into the league with contracts. They come into the league with endorsements. And then the league is forced to make, to change everything around them. And that's just the history of the sport. And it was different for Michael Jordan, but throughout the years, that's been the iteration of the league where they're either, you're centering it around a star and you're changing things for them to make sure that they are successful. I
don't think they changed. I wouldn't say they changed it for Mike. They changed it for the game. The game wasn't officiated the way it's supposed to be officiated. They just only thing they did was come in and clean it up and say, man, y'all rule book say this and y'all not doing it. Follow your rule book. You know what I mean? Like if this is supposed to be a foul, then why aren't you calling it? So all they did was come in and train the officials better because they was allowing.
I disagree with you 1,000,000% only because it was more violent prior to Michael Jordan being in the league. I'm sorry.
Actually, it was violent while he was in the league as well.
But it was more violent before he got there. It was even more violent. It was violent. It was vicious. 80s basketball was a vicious league. And, and I believe it was end of 70s, 80s, even into him being in the league. So I just don't feel as though, again, right or wrong, they made good changes. I think we all agree that 90s basketball is the best basketball that we've seen. It's a great blend of physical defense. It still changed. And Wilt Chamberlain said it best.
There's a couple of things you said.
Wilt Chamberlain said it best. He said they had to change the rules to stop him, and they had to change the rules to help Michael Jordan. And
okay, so let's address that. Let's address that. Right. Before the rules was changed, Michael Jordan averaged the most points he ever averaged in his career. He averaged 35.7. That was before the rule change. So they didn't change the rules for him to score.
They changed the rules for him to score more easily. So the point
he scored more before the rule changed, though.
He scored more, Mel, because he was a point guard. in that season, I believe. I think that year he scored
But
37.
he scored more before the rule change, though.
That's fine, but he wasn't winning. He couldn't get past the Pistons.
They changed the rules for him to win.
I think that they changed the rules because he complained. He benefited from, from the league softening up a bit, and each era benefited from that.
What year they changed it?
And changed. So it's not just Michael Jordan specific; it's every single superstar.
Right. So I'm looking at 1986. He averaged 37.
He wasn't a winner in 1986 and 87.
Well, hold on. 1986, he averaged 37. 1987, he averaged 35.
He didn't win a title that year, right?
So they didn't change the rules for him to score. That's why I pushed back on that a little bit. They didn't change the rules for him to score. He was already scoring.
The way that they wanted to see him scoring. They did change they talked about it, Mel. This is widely publicized. So what I'm saying is not untrue. I just don't think that you like what I'm saying, that every single era has benefited from a lesser physical NBA, which is what we've seen in the history of the sport. And just because Michael Jordan was a beneficiary of that doesn't mean that he's not still the greatest player that we've ever seen. Because
we're not talking about him being the greatest. We're not talking about. We're talking about the accuracy of what actually happened as far as rules and rules changes. I don't think the rules changed. That like they didn't go in there and make an admin change to say a foul in 90 is different than a foul in the 80s. What the rules are the same. They just taught the officials to call it better. The officials wasn't calling the game properly.
Only for Michael Jordan?
No, they wasn't calling the game properly at all.
For at least a decade is what I'm trying to say. So there was a standard in the league, and Michael Jordan, he complained about that standard. That's all that I'm saying.
Right. All the way in the red is what they was doing. They was not following the rule book. The rule book is right there in the middle.
Going on for a decade prior to Michael Jordan joining the league.
Right. And Michael Jordan played 6-7 years in that type of defense and in that type of whistle. He played 7 years in that whistle though.
Mel, what I'm telling you is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it was good basketball or bad basketball. It still changed. That's all that I'm telling you.
Yeah, but it wasn't a rule change though. That's all I'm saying.
It got lesser physical. So
I'm just all I'm saying is because we're documenting things right now.
When did they change the rules for LeBron? They didn't necessarily change the rules. They just started calling everything. They changed the way they called it. So however you want to say it. Now we're splitting hairs. What I'm saying to you is that the NBA changed the physicality throughout the years of the history of the sport, in which now it is this way. And it started changing with Michael Jordan. That's all that I'm saying. And they continued, and it got worse and worse as far as how they orchestrate superstardom, because they have not been able to organically get what Michael Jordan has been able to build for him.
All right, so
because of Michael Jordan, they have to.
Are you done? Because I want to cleanly get out what I want to say, but I gotta wait for you to finish though.
I'm finished, but I need you to stop changing what I'm saying. Stop changing what I'm saying.
I'm taking what you're saying. You
need the clarity.
The first thing you said is the rules changed for Michael Jordan so he can score easily.
Yes, and it did.
And I showed you that Michael Jordan was scoring with no problem before the rules.
No. He couldn't fly through the air. That's what they wanted to see.
Yes,
That's what David Stern said, that they wanted to see.
How do we know he could fly through the air if he wasn't doing it?
Because he only did it in the dunk contest. They were ripping him out of the air.
True.
Ergo, the Jordan rules.
That's not true.
The Jordan rules, they were ripping him out of the air, and that's not
the
what
Jordan rules was only for Detroit. Only Detroit did that.
Wanted to see. That's
only
not
Detroit.
And they
only Detroit did that.
That's not what they wanted to see. And did Michael
only
Jordan?
Detroit did that.
Michael Jordan cried. Nothing that
the Jordan rules was for Detroit.
But I'm right, and that's okay.
Detroit was the Jordan rules, Dominque.
To let you know that women are right all the time. Okay, for everybody who's watching right now, I am right, and that's okay. My word is final right now.
All right, your word is final. All right, so no, but I just want it to be said the way it actually is. That's all. I mean, I don't think you said it accurately as to what actually happened.
And I think Wilt Chamberlain is more of the law on this than you or I. And I think he predicted it he foreshadowed something that was happening, that we saw happen throughout the history of the sport. Michael Jordan even foreshadowed that, so the integrity changed. Every single iteration, every superstar era, something changed about the sport. And physicality is one that has consistently dwindled out. And now we're seeing it come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I disagree on that. We'll disagree on that. That's fine. You know what? We probably should open the phone lines up.
Let's do it.
Maybe not. Should we open it up? No, you know what?
Take one. Let's take one.
No. Because I'm gonna go to this Kobe Bryant topic. I'll open the phone lines up at the end, and we'll allow them to comment on either of the topics.
Okay.
That sounds good.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll do it like that. I might try that. That might be my new format, to just get through all the topics and then open the phone line up at the end and let all of it be open. So what else we got to unpack about the Michael Jordan thing that Jeff T said? Because we probably forgot, because you wanted to argue me down so bad about this. I'm just
this
rule change.
Show you what happens when you argue with women. I
always lose every single time. You're right.
I'm glad you know.
Of course. But what else did Jeff T say?
I thought so. What else did he say? He talked about the debate being fake. Everybody just kind of knowing that Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah.
I think he talked about, like,
he said something toward the end. What did he say, Dom? He said
looking like it was unreal, right?
Yeah, he said he said, man, it was like he just running past people, man. Like, it wasn't even real, man.
Like, not even real. And it made me think about when I was younger. I didn't even understand why Michael Jordan wasn't in the video games. I don't know if any of you guys remember growing up and, getting NBA Live and stuff like that. And Michael Jordan was never in the game and used to be upset.
Because he was going to sue him, Dom.
Well, it was because, like, he wasn't getting paid and stuff like that.
He was going to sue their ass. He was going to sue him.
No, he was. But, like, when I was a kid, I didn't get that. I didn't understand. So I used to be really upset. I used to try to create his player and stuff like that. And he's always been this mystical figure. And I think everything that's happened to Michael Jordan throughout his career has led to his legacy, this aura that's around him. Even just watching him right there's probably somebody that was watching him, talk about this NASCAR suit and just probably passed out and started crying. Michael Jordan is almost like Michael Jackson for a lot of people in the 90s and, to athletes.
If he gonna be the GOAT, though, he gotta take a little bit better care of his teeth, man. He got to get some veneers or something.
I thought that he did. I guess they were just like, Photoshop. I thought he did do something to his teeth. I didn't realize how yellow they were.
Nah, it's and brown and crooked. Like, I don't know what's going on with his mouth.
I think Michael Jordan looks fantastic. He's in the 6. He's in
his 6. I hope I look that good when I'm 60. But I mean, but the tequila, what is his drink of choice? Tequila, the tequila or the whiskey and the cigar.
Yeah, and the cigar.
It's wearing him out, dog.
I know, the yellow eyes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's genetics, because his dad's eyes was pretty yellow and reddish sometimes.
Weird about that. I'm like, is his liver okay?
I hope it is, but yeah, his dad had yellow eyes too, or red eyes. His dad had something, but he looked just like his dad did, though. Like, he looked exactly like his dad. And I'm starting to look like my granddad. I used to look like my dad a lot, but I'm starting to look like my granddad now. So I think I know what I'm gonna look like when I'm 65, 70 years old.
I could imagine your granddad, like a little cowboy, like.
That nigga was a heartbreaker, man. Don't bring your grandma near him, though. I'm gonna tell you that right now, boy. No, but dang, what did Jeff T also said something else. I don't know. I can't remember everything he said. But it is what it is, man. Like, he's right though. Like, this is a sport at this point, man. Like, this GOAT thing is a sport, and it's fun.
He talked about liking LeBron because that's what he grew up on.
That's what he grew up on. Yeah.
To chat about. Yeah, they didn't really. He was just saying, like, what I notice is that, like, that's always the reason. It's always something emotional about LeBron, why he's got to be today's GOAT. I grew up on LeBron. Never anything about like his game. What do people really like that he does on the floor?
Stats.
All-time great of what? I mean, but
he was the first athlete who the stats told his story. Like with Michael Jordan, yeah, he scored points and stuff like that, but we didn't care about his assists and rebounds and stuff. Like we cared about his points.
But tell the
story. He won the game.
But can you actually tell the story for LeBron and his stats? Because I can't.
Well, that's how it started. That's how it started.
To you is what does him being top 10 in assists mean to you? What story does that tell for you when you look at his stats now? Because they're longevity stats. So to me, it's much harder to tell a story for his career.
Well, for me personally, because if you look at the top 10 of the assist people, most of them I watched them play their whole career, right? So I form conclusions about them as passers when I watch them. Like, I don't have to look at Mark Jackson to see where he is on the assist list to know he was a great passer and one of the best passers we've seen. Same with Pete Maravich, Pistol Pete. Same with John Stockton. Same with J. Kidd. Same with LeBron. Same with the list goes on. There's so many great passers. LeBron, they all are A+ passers. So that's all I need to know. Like, you're an A+ passer. Now, when I see you on the top 10, then it tells me you pass a lot and you played a long time. Like John Stockton is top 3 in assists and steals, but he played 20+ years. So you played a long time and you was good at something. That's how you get in the top 10. That's the story that I get, but it doesn't tell me that he, is GOAT worthy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people disagree with me, but I don't think LeBron James is a good passer. So
why you think that?
I think that he has the vision to pass, but I don't think he's an actual good passer. I think that he's positioned to have the most assists on his team, which I think is different.
I think both are true. Can both be true?
And someone talked in the comments about having a lot of turnovers. I don't think having a lot of turnovers makes you a bad passer per se. John Stockton had a lot of turnovers. He's still considered to be a really good point guard. So, having a lot of turnovers doesn't make you a bad passer all the time. But I think that LeBron James's other stats, the turnovers, the inefficiencies, I think that those things make him a bad passer. The timeliness of his turnovers, what I've seen of his turnovers, is what makes him a bad passer, not him having the greatest of all time in turnovers. It's just when you're passing the ball. To me, when you're passing the ball to escape something, when you're passing the ball to absolve yourself, that's a problem to me. That does not make you a good passer. When you're passing the ball at the end of a shot clock, that does not make you a good passer. And I've seen him do that all too many times. And that's what I have a problem with.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, he number 1 in assists. I thought that, but I didn't know for 100% fact. Yeah, he's 1 in steals and assists by far, in both of them too. So, but the turnover thing. Once we see the names is on the top 5 to 10 on the turnovers, we start to think, because a turnover is bad. There's no other way around it. And having a lot of turnovers is bad as well. Correct. And then we see the list of the people who got the most turnovers of all time. And we're like, oh man, Magic, Stockton, man, how bad is it really? And then we start being a respect of people's names and legacies and start kind of watering down how we really feel about turnovers. Turnovers are bad 100%. There's no way around it. So there is I wouldn't say a conclusion, but there is a data point that go into how you factor in what you think about this player. And for John Stockton to be playing with Karl Malone and having a Hall of Fame coach like Jerry Sloan and always a good competitive team and never win it, you have to wonder why. And some of those turnovers can explain some things. Number one, John Stockton was the assist for Utah. Like, there was nobody else on the team that was like, they trusted John Stockton to do everything as far as distribution. And that's not good.
That's why they lost. I mean, their turnovers, his poor decision making. I mean, that's what made John Stockton,
I
unfortunately.
didn't even go say it's poor decision making. It's just the fact that for one guy to have the ball that much,
That's a poor decision to me, but also turning the ball over is poor decision making. It just is one way or another. And I think that, unfortunately, he's a serial loser. Never won a title, back-to-back losses to Michael Jordan. And so all I'm saying is that when I take a look at how LeBron James passed the ball, I felt like he had no business passing. That's where I'm at. Like John Stockton, to me, he played the point guard position better than LeBron James. We have to judge LeBron James as a point guard or whatever, position he decided to play or wants to tell the media that he's playing. So, how are we grading him? What are we grading him based off of his role? We're just looking at the assists and saying, okay, well, how did you get these assists? And then when you take a look and you compare those turnovers, I mean, they're really ugly. The turnovers that he has are really ugly. And so we're
I don't like turnovers. I don't like turnovers.
So were John Stockton's. His turnovers were disgusting and he never won a title. So, I don't even really compare Stockton to I compare Magic Johnson to LeBron James. I think that is the player that I wish that LeBron James was in that point guard role. I wish that he was truly finding his teammates and not just covering up deficiencies in his game.
Wolfio, he said we should have a new stat on how many times LeBron doesn't cross half court for defense. It's around 60% of the time he's on the court. That's funny. I don't know if it's 60. It might be 10. But it's a lot. That's a lot still, though.
I mean, when Dylan Brooks shot that clutch shot, like he was just nowhere to be found. Yeah. He's always late on defense.
Yeah. I look, the guys who are high on assists and turnovers, it really shows that their coaching, and them themselves, thought it was a good idea for them to be 75 to 85% of the distribution for their team versus someone like Greg Popovich coaching San Antonio to have everyone be part of the distribution for their team as far as assists. And I think that formula was better than having one guy do it. So those guys like Stockton, Jokic, Luka, Harden, Westbrook, when they did it, it was good for stats. It was good for raising the floor for a team, but it wasn't really good for winning the rings. And I think that's what people should take from those high assists, high turnover athletes in the NBA. That's how I look at it.
That was beautifully put, Mel.
I appreciate that. Kobe Bryant. So I think not last Friday, but Friday before last, we might have did a segment when Bill Simmons was doing a podcast with Max Kellerman. I think Max Kellerman went on Bill Simmons just to announce that him and Rich Paul had that podcast coming, and they got into some conversations, and Bill Simmons had the nerve to say that Tim Duncan was better than Kobe, and it's actually blasphemy to say Kobe is better. Like, he almost walked out of the podcast room when Max Kellerman suggested that Kobe was better than Duncan. He said, "I'm about to leave." He said that's disrespectful. And I'm like, are you serious? It's disrespectful to say Kobe is better than Tim Duncan. When did that happen? So I don't know what Bill Simmons don't like about Kobe, but it's insane. But Lou Will was talking to Chandler Parsons on their podcast about it. And Lou Will kind of took up for Kobe. This is what he said.
Change based on, the new age guys like Bill, Kareem, and Wilt that are going to be ranked up high on certain rankings. But when it comes down to Kobe and Tim Duncan, I think Tim Duncan is ranked ahead of him. And most people...
Anybody disagree? Agree. Oh, who's doing something over there? What are we doing?
We got to stop trying Kobe.
No, we're not trying Kobe. We're not trying. Are we not trying Tim Duncan?
No, hold on. Slow down, Chandler, before you jump on me.
Damn.
It's too many conversations around Kobe's legacy these days for my liking. Like, we know who Kobe Bryant was, and this has nothing to do with Tim Duncan. I'm going on a soapbox.
Oh, here we go.
It has nothing to do with Tim Duncan. We got to stop trying Kobe's legacy, comparing him to this person, comparing him to that person. When that man was alive and well, none of this was a conversation. His legacy wasn't confused. Who he was, his iconic status, his star status, none of those things were questioned or confused. It was either he was 1, he was either 2, he was either 3. The end. It wasn't about Tracy McGrady. It wasn't about Tim Duncan. It wasn't about any of these people. So now all of a sudden that door is open because there's nobody to defend him but his fans and us. So I'm going to step up and say, let's stop this with Kobe. Leave him alone. Leave it alone. Allow him to.
Wait, so he's better than Tim Duncan?
I think so.
Well, there it is.
What conversation have we had? What conversation have we had that Kobe Bryant hasn't? It hasn't been LeBron, Michael Jordan.
Well, you know what?
Kobe
You know
Bryant.
why the defense of that is? Because nobody ever gives Tim Duncan the proper amount of respect.
That's a
when we have
different
these
conversation. We can give Tim Duncan all the respect and love in the world without bringing Kobe Bryant into that conversation.
But if we're doing a list of the best of all time, then we have
And
to.
Kobe Bryant, and on 99.8% of all of those lists, Kobe Bryant is in the top 3 of all of them.
But my point is
I
that those
disagree with
lists
you.
are
I disagree.
wrong.
If you look
because
at the
of
rankings of the
disrespect.
NBA players, he's not top 3 of most of the
Whose
rankings.
rankings?
Just Google top 3.
I don't want to Google it. We, for a fact, 3 basketball players sitting up here. Which one of us is not going to have
Thank
Kobe
you.
Bryant in our top 3?
Me.
That's it.
Me.
Top 3.
Top 3?
So you're
And
in
I
that
love
point-
him.
So you're in that 0.2 I just talked about.
I think your numbers are wrong. I think your numbers are way off here. I think if
I'm
you
not
look at
doing that.
rankings.
I'll have to
15
have
seconds. Tim Duncan, Kobe. Who's higher?
Oh, y'all done arguing? I wanted y'all to keep going.
You know what? We'll carry this.
Tim
to
Duncan
tomorrow.
or Kobe?
We'll be back tomorrow.
Tim Duncan or Kobe? See you tomorrow.
What's your thoughts?
Oh, Mel, you're gonna get mad.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to say. I'll let you go.
Why not? Why not? Why you want to say? I mean, it's a lot of people on either side of the coin.
Here's where I fall. I do think that Tim Duncan doesn't get the respect that he deserves as a player. I think that he's one of the most, I would say, underrated basketball greats in of his time. And I think that that's partially because of Kobe Bryant. I think that Kobe Bryant, no matter what he was going through, we were forced to celebrate him, no matter what the media tried to do, no matter what the NBA tried to do to stifle his stardom. It wasn't going to work, and he's beloved by Laker fans. He's beloved by NBA fans. I think that the basketball discussion with rankings and all of that, it gets very emotional. That's what I believe. I think there's a lot of emotions to it. And you've said it before in the past, Mel, where people will come up with a criteria for, however they rank things, and they can't even stick to their own criteria.
Correct.
So I always have, I think that to say that a person is unbiased when we talk about sports or anything, I think that everybody's biased every single day of their life. I think that everybody makes, a judgment about things. It's just a matter of how harshly we judge people or situations. So I have a personal top 10. I have some of my favorite players just because of what I like to see on the court. Like, those things, again, what people say, well, that's not what I want to see. Right. When I think about what I just want to see, what I personally want to see, I have my own personal favorite top 10 group of players. And then when I try to get objective about it and create a criteria, I do have a technical top 10 list of players. And I think that, Kobe Bryant could fall on either one of those lists. And I think that for people to put him outside of the top 10, I think is ridiculous. He was after Jordan. To say that Kobe Bryant is not a top 10 player, or he's easily outside of the top 10, or putting him 11 like the Bleacher Report did, I think is ridiculous, because it would be eliminating an entire era. It would be the elimination of part of the sport, I think. And so we can't do that. And I think Lou Williams is emotional. I think when people talk about Kobe Bryant, it's emotional, and I think that that's okay to be that way. And I think it's okay that people don't have him as a top 3 player. I think that's okay. I don't think it's a disrespect. I think if that's your opinion, it's okay to have that opinion. You need to be able to back it up. You need to have your reasons. You know, I need to see those. I need to see that other top 3. I need to know who those players are, and I'm okay with them, you know, not being Kobe Bryant. But I'm not okay with him getting compared to Tracy McGrady. I'm not okay with Tracy McGrady inserting himself that way because everybody's trying to get on with something. Everybody wants to have a hot take. You've said that before as well. So the hot take, narrative driven sort of, you know, new media is really annoying, especially from former NBA players. I think that's where it gets the most useful to me, because you either played with Kobe Bryant or, you know what it is. You know that Kobe Bryant, I think, like he was a
Don, you having some internet issues right now. So this what I say, right? And Dominque said that Lou Will was being a little bit emotional, and that might be true because he played with Kobe, so he got a different type of attachment to Kobe than most people, right? But I think what's also true is he's being accurate and correct, because when in real time, when Kobe was playing and he was destroying cats and he was dominating the league and being regarded as the best player in the league and in the GOAT debate and being compared to Michael Jordan, like this was happening in real time. And what Lou Williams is saying is that in real time, we're comparing him to Jordan. We're acknowledging he was the best player in the league. He's winning championships. People are forming teams and super teams to try to catch up with him in rings. You know, Shaq is telling him he's the best player. Like we all thought of Kobe Bryant as being the best. We've always thought of Tim Duncan as being the best power forward of all time. So when people say that Tim Duncan is being disrespected, he's not. It's just that he was a quiet player, and the fan base around him was just all business. It was all championships. And what his award is, leaving the NBA, is that this was the best power forward that we've ever seen play. So automatically we put him in, and I think it's a consensus. I think everyone agrees that it's Tim Duncan, then it's everyone else. You go Tim Duncan first, and then you can go to your Karl Malones and your Dirks and your KGs and your Barkleys and your Kevin McHale's and all of that stuff. But it's Tim Duncan first, right? It's always been Tim Duncan first. So I think we don't disrespect Tim Duncan. I think we've always gave Tim Duncan his proper due by saying he was the greatest power forward of all time. Like nobody even debates that, really. I don't think nobody debates it.
I think they do. They call Giannis the greatest power forward of all time. I mean, Mel, the conversation gets very disrespectful. I don't think you pay it. I'm being honest. I don't think you pay attention to the disrespect that Tim Duncan gets. But again, I don't think this is about his level of disrespect. I think that there is a lot of narratives going around Kobe, and it's all to elevate other players, and that's really awful. So the main point that my takeaway message from Lou Williams is that we don't have to elevate someone by trashing another person. And it's not just about Kobe Bryant. It could be Michael Jordan. It could be even other players. Like when we go to elevate LeBron James, we have to trash the entire team. That's just completely unnecessary. We don't have to call an entire group of NBA player bums to say that somebody was good. So that's what we have to do. We have to stifle Kobe's legacy and completely bury it and basically try to get rid of it in order to elevate players, today, because they don't cut the mustard. They don't meet the standard that they set for themselves. They've created these standards for themselves that they cannot reach.
Yeah. So I address two things. One, Lou Will did mention that, people are using Kobe to try to elevate other people, and that's whack. And you agree with that. But also, I think what Lou Williams is doing is trying to be accurate and remind people, like, this same Kobe Bryant nobody was against calling him the best player in the league for years. Nobody was against comparing him to Jordan and elevating him into the GOAT debate while he was still playing. Everybody continuously called him the best player in the league. Why Tim Duncan was in the league, why Tim Duncan had more MVPs than him. Like, we all still knew Kobe Bryant was the best, and we knew it was some things that was, that was between him and the media and between him and, whatever people disliked about him that prevented him from getting some awards that he should have got as far as MVPs. So what Lou Will is saying is, no, don't forget Kobe Bryant was always here, right? Now, to address the Tim Duncan thing, when I say that it's a consensus that he's the best power forward that has ever played, I mean that. And when you bring up that other power forwards have been mentioned, like Giannis, that's every time. Like, even with Michael Jordan, we think that he's the GOAT, but it's always guys that come up for a little while, and then after you compare them for a couple of years, you realize, yep, you're not Michael Jordan. They did it with Kobe, they did it with LeBron, and it's the same thing with Tim Duncan. Every time a power forward does something phenomenal, like when Giannis won the finals and had a 50 piece in a game 6 or a game 7, they start saying, man, maybe he might be the best power forward ever. And then 2 years later, no, he's not. Right? Same thing with Anthony Davis when he was balling out in New Orleans. Man, he might be better than Tim Duncan. And then 2 years later, no, he's not. Right? So names always come up, but they don't last long. They don't stand the test of time. You get what I'm saying? So we, at the end of the day, we still regard Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward ever. And that's no disrespect there. Like, he don't get no disrespect. He just don't get a lot of attention. And not getting attention is not disrespect.
But I think for Bill Simmons it is. So, what we consider disrespect, and, I think a lot of, I said underrated. So I think he's one of the most underrated power forwards. And, I don't think that
he's rated number 1 though. How can he be underrated? He's rated number 1.
I don't think people look back enough about what he did. When we talk about all-time greats, we don't say, when we talk about the greatest players, we don't talk about the greatest power forward. We don't talk about the greatest center. We talk about the greatest player. That's all that I'm saying. So when, for some people, if you have Tim Duncan on your top 10 ranked higher than you have Kobe Bryant, which some people really do, that's where they feel like it's disrespect. That's all that I'm trying to say. I don't agree with them. So I think that Kobe Bryant was a better player than Tim Duncan. That's what I believe. Whether he obviously isn't more decorated, but I thought he was a better player than him, a better athlete than him. Just a better, I think
he might be more decorated.
No, Tim Duncan was more decorated, I think.
You think so?
I think so.
He got more MVPs, but they got the same amount of rings.
They do, but when you're talking about individual decoration, I think that Tim Duncan, people would go with him. People would go with LeBron. That's what hurts Kobe Bryant in rankings. So people take away, they look at stats, they look at these accolades and things like that, and he is less. Less.
Well, hold on. So when you say more decorated, what do we? So we adding MVPs, we adding rings. What else we adding?
Just pull up the resume, whatever that resume is. For a lot of people,
all NBA and all defense, all NBA, all defense, all NBA, all defense.
All the things that stat nerds would take a look at. I think the totality. Some people would say that Tim Duncan's resume is what has him maybe, well,
I can tell you right off bat, Kobe's top 5 in scoring. Tim Duncan's not. And then I can also put them 81 cherries in Tim Duncan's drink, like he ordered for Jalen Rose. Tim Duncan ain't never do that either.
Some people would say that, maybe he had, better team success. I look, a lot of people feel that Tim Duncan is more, he has the better career, and I think I think it's a debate, and what's better to you and what's better to me could be two totally different things. But again, I just think these conversations get really emotional for people. I don't think there's any real reason for anybody to be up in arms about Tim Duncan, not being called better than Kobe Bryant. That girl, what did he say? Girl, bye. We heard him say that.
Yeah.
Girl, bye.
I think Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan and Kobe both got a lot of all defensive teams. So I like that about both of them.
There was something though, before I forget though, Mel, there was something that Lou Williams said that you said. There's something that a lot of people say that I actually really disagree with. Is that nobody was disrespecting Kobe Bryant while he was alive. And in fact, they were. When he was alive and that GOAT discussion was going on, and I'll never forget when they pointed the question toward him and asked him what he thought about it, between Jordan and LeBron, and the way that he would answer it, felt like disrespect to me. Even just the question of it, as if he wasn't in it, at times. And there was disrespect just with the comparison to, him and LeBron. And when he left the league, those things got louder, and it got worse. Obviously, I remember that. I remember him being asked directly about the GOAT conversation and the way that he answered it. Pure class, of course. Kobe Bryant was always classy after, the NBA and as he got older. But yeah, I felt like those discussions got disrespectful of his legacy, once he left the NBA. When he was in the league, people had no problem calling him the best player. But when he left, these GOAT comparisons, especially when LeBron won the title in 2016, it became all about him and Michael Jordan. Nobody wanted to entertain that Kobe Bryant, when he was alive, you had the Nick Wrights, you had, even LaShannon Sharp sitting up there saying that LeBron has passed Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. It was insane. And so that chatter got louder and louder. And now that he's passed and can't defend himself, he can't defend Michael Jordan. He used to come out and defend the past eras. He was a louder voice about those things. So it's just interesting now that they're trying to bury his legacy.
Let me get the super chats. Wolfio, $5 super chat. In the 2000s, it wasn't even a question. Duncan was arguably number 3. Top 2 was always Shaq and Kobe. It wasn't even a question at the time. I agree with that. I agree. I think that's how Tim Duncan had it too.
I don't think Tim Duncan thought he was better than Kobe Bryant. I don't think he did.
I don't think
so. Ask him right now. I don't think that he would say that. He wasn't the athlete that Kobe Bryant was. He wasn't the athlete that David Robinson was.
But he was good. Kobe had Shaq, Duncan had Robinson, plus the best French and Argentina player of all time. All right. Let's open the phone lines up, y'all.
And Duncan never repeat. So let's also not forget that he never repeat.
He did, but he won in every decade though. He played it.
He never won back to back. Kobe Bryant did that. Kobe Bryant
he went back to back, but he didn't win back to back.
Yeah, but I think that's a big deal. That's a huge separation. That's not an accolade. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not an award, but I think it's a separation.
I agree. All right, phone number is scrolling on the bottom of the screen, 442-288-9352. Call in, give your thoughts about the Jordan topic or the Kobe topic. Either one, don't matter. We can start with the Kobe and Tim Duncan, though. I think that was interesting. I think that was pretty interesting. Funky Town, you got to call the number that's on the screen, brother. He calling my personal number. When people got membership and get my personal number, boy, they just... Funky Town, call the number on the screen. Maybe this number on the screen not ringing for some reason. This phone, this phone be acting up. He's still calling. Something might be wrong with this phone, dog. There we go. Caller, what's good, man?
Man, stop putting my personal technical difficulties on blast like that. I'm up here. I mute you so I can't hear what's going on. I'm like, man, why is you not picking up?
Yeah. I was really putting my technical difficulties on there. I thought it was my phone that was jacked up.
Oh no, I got you. Hey, Dom, welcome back, sweetie. It's good to see you.
Oh, it's so nice to hear from you, Funky Town. Talk to me nice.
Outstanding. Well, again, y'all, you West Coast folks over here got us up being out night owls and everything. But on the Michael Jordan thing, I agree with a lot of what y'all were saying. But yeah, Dom, you were a little off on. And again, I'm not trying to start no fight. I ain't trying to. I know when women are always right. I get it. I'm saying my parents were married for like 50 years, and I never saw that man win an argument. So I get it, even though he was right. Point I'm making is though, the flagrant foul came in 1991, right? And that was the like Mel said, they had to put tighter. They put a degree on the fouls that were going on, because the other way they did it, they allowed players, especially Jordan, to be targeted. Hence the Jordan rules.
I know.
But Jordan was scoring. He, like I said, 90 was it 80, 86, 87, 31.7 points. That was his highest score. And then next year was 35.1 or something like that. Anyway, he was scoring. And again, they also came in with the illegal offense to stop him back in the 80s. So you couldn't have him in like they do now with ISO. They made ISO illegal because of Jordan. They were doing all they could to stop him.
Funky,
because they thought it was unfair if he was over there by himself with one person.
I hear you, but there was basketball before Michael Jordan. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, there was basketball before Michael Jordan. There were great players before Michael Jordan, and there were flagrant fouls before Michael Jordan. There was much more physical play before he got there as well. I mean, awful physical play. I mean, awful things that happened in the NBA. And it's just like, it's okay if we didn't always watch it and we weren't always there to see it. But, things got easier for Michael Jordan, no matter how you slice it. Whether it should have been easy, whether it needed to change. I agree with you that it needed to change, and I'm okay with the change. But the fact is that it did change. That's all. And Will Chamberlain said that Michael Jordan might not have been successful in his era. And I agree with that wholeheartedly, because it wasn't a game for the guards. Okay. And it was, I just don't, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been anything. I'm not saying he couldn't play, period. But again, just like today, I don't think that every single player, you drop them in every single scenario, you just don't know what's going to happen. The hypotheticals, the what ifs. I'm not going to play that game. Michael Jordan was great in his era. He was the greatest that I ever saw, and I'm okay with that. But sit here and say that the flagrant foul was only there for Michael Jordan. It started with Michael Jordan is absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I can't sit here.
1991 is when the flagrant foul came in. I saw Rambis get snatched out of the air by Kevin McHale in the final, 1985.
Yes, and how brutal was it in the 80s? How brutal was it in the 80s?
It was go to the line, take your 2 shots. That should have been a flagrant foul, but there was no such thing as a flagrant foul.
Exactly. That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
But Jordan played in that era too. Jordan played. Hold on, Jordan played in that era too. And guess what? It was a big man's league when he came in the league.
Yes,
that was the thing. It was a big man's league.
We saw what he had to go through to get through the Pistons. That journey, that battle.
Not just the Pistons. Not just the Pistons.
But that was his roadblock. The Pistons was his roadblock. This is widely
no doubt.
I'm not making this up. But people want to glorify a particular person and a particular player or whatever it is that they want to put out there. They want to say, okay, this is my opinion. This is my stance. I have to make this fit. And multiple things can be true. That's all that I'm trying to say. Michael Jordan is
I'm not saying
the greatest player I ever saw, but he did benefit from the league getting less physical. It was the best kind of basketball for us to watch. I'm not saying it was wrong for the league to change things. It needed to be changed. I'm okay with that, but it changed.
Right, but you're saying that a guy who's being targeted is crying because he's saying I'm being targeted.
He did cry. And I'm not going to.
He just pointed out like I'm being targeted, and
that's not what happened though. That's not what happened.
What do you mean? He wasn't being targeted?
That's what happened. He went into the character of the Pistons. He cried on national TV. And he did cry. He complained about the Pistons.
You saying he wasn't targeted though? Is that what you're saying? He wasn't targeted?
I never said that. I'm saying he cried about it.
That's all I said. I said he was targeted.
You said you criticized the fact that I said that he cried. He did cry.
Nah, I mean, people talk back and forth.
Tears, but he did go out there and complain, and he took to the public. He took to the media to complain about their physical play and to actually call them bad guys. To say they didn't have class, he went into their character. He had the whole media hating them. It was a thing. So I'm not going to sit here and say
so he was the one. He was the one who called them bad boys, or they called themselves bad boys. Because I was there. They called themselves bad boys.
So was I.
Exactly.
Everybody was there. Everybody was there watching it. He complained about them. Stop absolving Michael. It's not a bad thing that he complained. It's part of his story. It's part of the story, and it's okay to have that part of your story. Nobody's ever perfect, and so he's supposed to stand strong every single minute.
It's not about being perfect. No, ain't nobody made the standard perfect. The point
he complained about it. Did he not?
He did what?
He cried and complained about the Pistons and their physical play. Yes, he did. We need to stop.
No, I mean, if you were getting singled out and targeted and they got the thing called the Jordan rules because of you.
He's still
and that's targeting. You're saying, so you're supposed to be okay with that?
You don't think people get?
I'm just gonna sit here and my livelihood's at risk every time I go up for a dunk. The things that putting people in your seats right now, the butts in the seats. I'm the one up here doing this, carrying this lion's share of the load for this league, for its popularity where it's at right now. And you're gonna tell me I'm gonna keep getting targeted?
He wasn't the
but
only.
Did he also get into the gym? Did he also get into the gym and bulk up? Did he also get into the gym and bulk up?
He did cry.
Did he do that too?
Cry and complain. He complained.
No, he didn't cry. Come on now, dog. Look, if you gonna say, look, I'm gonna take this for a couple years, but if y'all ain't gonna do nothing, okay. So now what? I'm gonna go to the public. I'm going to the press.
Public. What is that called?
But when you talking about their character, that was when. That was when.
Look, I know everybody wants to defend Michael Jordan for everything that he does. But
that when he said something about their character, that was in the 91 Eastern Conference Finals.
That wasn't the only time he talked about their character.
That's when he in the public said something about them, and then they got in their feelings, and then they walked off the court when they were getting swept.
Sir, you were wrong. That is not the only time he talked about them.
Okay, when else?
In the press. That was not the only time. So you want to change history, and that's okay.
I named a specific time when he did it, and all you saying is I'm wrong.
No,
American Cuban. I get it. Y'all don't like being wrong. I get it. I get it.
I'm sorry. He did it multiple times.
I get it. I get it.
Not true. So look it up. Come up here and tell me that I'm wrong when you're not telling the full story. And this is the full story.
I just gave a specific incident, and I just said when it happened. I said it was right before they went home when they were getting ready to sweep them. That's when he said when they went up 2-0, and he gave the interview and he talked about the character of a champion. That there needs to be a change of the guard. That's what he said.
That was just one of the times. That was just one of the times, and he actually went to the league office and specifically complained. That's part of his story.
When they beat him, he ain't never go back chirping. When they beat him, he didn't never go back chirping. Not after they beat him. He said we gotta do better. And that's what he said. We gotta do better. I gotta do better.
And he complained. Look, if I got beat up the way he did, I would complain too. That's part of the story. We're not going to change.
He wouldn't be crying. I get it.
You went and you cried. It's just like the kid who gets bullied.
I get it.
The kid that got bullied at the park. You go home, you cry to your mom. Some people go home and cry to their mom, and their mom makes them go back out there and get on the court. Michael Jordan didn't have mom telling him to do it. He went out and did it himself, but he still cried. So you can change it. You can make it a different story if you want, but I'm not going to make it a different story.
Again, that's okay. I'm not gonna. I'll give my specifics, and you can say what you said, and that's all good.
But I said
and I get it. You're not going to ever be wrong. I get it, y'all. I understand, y'all.
All right. So can I cap it off with this? Can I cap it off with this? So from what I'm seeing, I think the complaints were particularly about flagrant fouls? Or
Yes.
well, before flagrant foul was a rule, they was just like very excessive
They
hard
could
fouls.
target him.
Right, it was
Right. And
excessive
if you,
hard
if you
fouls.
have no extra punishment, you can put extra sauce, and
Right.
he got a whole bunch of
Right.
extra sauce.
So
and it wasn't just the Pistons.
I got it.
It was
I got
everybody.
it. I got it. So if I'm guarding somebody and playing tough physical defense, I'm hand checking you, I'm doing all of that stuff, and then you go up for a shot, not and I'm trying to block it and I foul you, that's a foul. But if I'm targeting your body while you're in the air, I'm not even trying to get the ball, I'm just taking you out of the air, and that was just a regular foul, and that can end my career or end my season. Right. I think that's what he was complaining. Like, look, like they're physically trying to hurt people. Right. So these flagrant fouls are insane. So yeah, going to David Stern and saying that, and then creating the flagrant foul rule to saying you can still do that, but if you do it, you're going to have consequences. You get 2 of them, you're out. It's a technical foul. So you can still play physical. It was still a physical brand of basketball. You can still hard foul, but now the person that's hard fouling has a penalty, right? So the flagrant foul was implemented. I think by mentioning the truth or the accuracy that Michael Jordan did go to David Stern about that is one thing, but I think saying it where you're implying something, I think that's what Jeff is trying to push back on, because I don't even think Don was implying anything. She just mentioned it. Your tone, your tone would lead someone to believe that you was implying something. But I don't know if you was implying something. You didn't say anything. You just said he went to try to do something.
The president of the union, the president of the union at the time was Isaiah Thomas.
Actually, Funky Town.
The president of the union was Isaiah Thomas.
But I'm talking now, and so like
the guy who's supposed to be looking out for players.
So
was the ringleader.
Last point, Mel, you nailed it. I didn't even say or imply, but we get so emotional about the players that we love. And, for me, I just really like to be on the side of what's fair. And I like to really give all credit to, the different eras of the sport. And I just think every era has seen its own different iteration of different things. And they're the same in some ways and different in other ways. And I think the only consistent thing is that physicality in the sport continued to decrease after a certain time. That's
but David Stern didn't decrease the physicality though. He just implemented the flagrant foul.
Handshake was
that's
there.
And that's
so they could have 2 hands in the back then.
So
the thing is,
all three of us all different on this topic, because so that right there, I can't say anything else to either one of you when you say that the physicality didn't change. It was just a flagrant foul rule that was implemented. So I don't have anything else to give you guys on this topic, because there's nothing else that I can say. We can't. There's no more there. We disagree on the fundamental premise of the argument now. So if you think that there was that physicality didn't change,
that's the whole thing.
Physicality didn't change.
Yeah.
Then
no, I don't think it did.
Well, then I can't.
No, the ability for targeting without consequences. That's what changed.
Okay.
That's what changed.
What you guys are doing is making something into what you want it to be, and that's fine. I'm calling it like I see it, and you're.
I like to call that place reality.
Salad. You're going into it. Some things are just black and white. Some things are yes and no. Some things are did it change or did it not change? And this changed. And there were changes that constantly happened throughout every different era of the sport. And physicality became less from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s and on.
Jeff?
Oh, yeah. I'm not changed. I'm not saying that there was no change, there was an effect. What I'm saying is, in the case it was brought up.
No, just in the case of Michael Jordan, physicality didn't change. Only in the case of Michael Jordan,
that's not no. If we want to talk, there have been all kinds of the most physical. As a matter of fact, the 2000 was the most physical brand of basketball. Where you had athleticism, and you had talent. It to me, the 2000s was the most physical.
In the 70s,
I should say, the defense was the hardest.
Put a noose on a player's neck and you're telling me the physicality didn't change, you got to be blind.
I said, what now?
Sorry, you got to be.
I said, what now?
I fall different from the both of you on this. I disagree that physicality.
Where I fall at on this, Dom? Where do I fall at?
Well, where you and I fall different, Mel, is that you're saying that physicality in 90s basketball did not change. The flagrant foul rule was
from the 80s.
That's what you're saying, that did not change. And I'm saying, yes, it absolutely did, because I watched, and I believe you watched. And so I believe that in this moment, what we're doing is we're trying to make something fit. And I'm okay with that. Make it fit how you want to make it fit. But that's where I fall different right there. So if we're saying,
I'm cool with you. Yeah, I'm cool with you falling different on that. I don't think it. I don't.
Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah, I'm cool with you falling different on that. It's not the end of the world.
But inferences, all these inferences, that's not necessary. All I'm saying is, if you want to talk about physicality is one thing, but if you're going to talk about physicality without consequences, that's a different subject. If we're saying defenders had the same consequences in the 2000s as they had in the 80s.
I didn't talk about consequences.
That's a different play. I don't even understand where this is coming from. Like it's not because it's Jordan.
Exactly what I said.
I said
it is.
If it was anybody, Bill Laimbeer was able to get away with the crap he did to Larry Bird because of the era that there was no flagrant foul. And then when he got knocked in the face, nobody cared about it because it's like, hey, you got it, you got dealt with. That's why they had enforcers on teams back then. They had teammates that if you mess with our star, not a problem. We got you the next time coming down.
However, every iteration of basketball has changed. So they had enforcers that were much tougher back then, and they have enforcers
because
today.
You had to have enforcers because they didn't have a flagrant foul.
And you don't have enforcers today. You don't have real enforcers today, and you're proving my point. So
exactly.
Continue.
You don't have it because that's being legislated out.
I'm gonna let you guys prove my point. Go ahead. Keep telling me that the NBA changed. All you're doing is telling me that the NBA changed, which is exactly what I said. So I get it. This is what we're here to do.
I think that's slick. And I caught when you did that, because on one end you say Michael Jordan went to David Stern and they changed the league so he can score more points. That was that was the beginning thing, and then you started to slide. Hold on, Don. And then you slid in all the changes that happened 2000s, 2010, 2020s, and you brought those changes in. That way, if anyone agrees that there were changes made in the 2000s, then that also makes you right about the premise, which Michael Jordan had changes made for him to score better, which is not true.
I think every single era
it's a very slick tactic.
Better score the way that
it's a very slick tactic. It's very slick.
No. You're changing what I said to make what you want.
No, Don, that's what you said. You said
no, it wasn't what I said. And you can go back.
He could score more.
Go back.
And he scored more in the 80s than he did in the 90s.
Go right on ahead and play the video back because I didn't say that. The NBA wanted to.
Yes, that's exactly what you said.
No, it wasn't. The NBA wanted to see Michael Jordan score a certain way. So he could score in physicality. He can score however he can score which way he was going to score. But it was the way that they wanted to see him score. And I explained that. So he
was famous for his fadeaway in the 90s or in the 80s.
I'm not making this up.
He was known for his fadeaway in the 90s or in the 80s.
When was he known for his fadeaway? You tell me.
In the 90s. In the 90s.
In the 90s.
In the 90s.
In the 90s.
He was more known as a slasher.
He was older.
Huh?
Yeah, anybody that's running and jumping.
Wait, now you can't have it both ways now.
You can't run and jump.
You can't have it both ways.
Are you gonna let me talk or are you gonna keep talking over me? Which one do you want it to be?
Go ahead, Dom.
You tell me.
Go ahead, Dom.
So
please, Dom, go ahead.
John Morant, Derrick Rose, you can't run and jump like that for 10 straight years. You're going to have to change your game a little bit. So, yeah, in the 90s, 10 plus years in, yeah, he's going to develop his fadeaway shot. He didn't develop his fadeaway shot just because. You develop it as you get older. And again, he was fading away for quite some time. Anyhow, Michael Jordan, the way that he scored and what the NBA wanted to see, they things so that he can do things a certain way. Not that he was, nobody could stop him. Nobody could stop Michael Jordan. And this is not an attack on Michael Jordan. So I know everybody wants to get emotional because every time somebody says Michael Jordan,
I'm not emotional. I'm waiting.
Nah, you don't the one emotional.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, seriously, I'm not emotional. I'm asking the question. If you're using your own logic, if you're gonna sit here and say that they wanted him to score a certain way, but in the 2000s, I'm sorry, in the 90s is when he got known for that and getting that fadeaway going over both shoulders. That is not the same way he was scoring, going to the basket, dunking on everybody. That was in the 80s.
So you're saying that David
if they wanted him to do that,
I'm making it up. I'm making it up what the NBA wanted. They never came out and said this. This isn't documented in a document.
They had to protect you have to start protecting your product, Dom. They had more money in the game at that point, Dom.
Tell me where would I said a lie? Because they
Dom,
said this.
The game was going worldwide.
The
game was going into more people's televisions on a nightly basis.
Can I say this so we can bring it to a close? And maybe get maybe one more phone call before we end. I say this. What Dom think we disagree, I don't think we disagree there. I think what we really disagree at is what physicality is. And I don't think the flagrant fouls are physicality. I think they're just flagrant fouls. I think physicality is playing tough, hard-nosed defense, and you were still allowed to do that. I was still allowed to hand check you. I was still allowed to bump you on the dribble. I was still allowed to press you. All of that stuff and hard fouls. All of that stuff was still good. The flagrant fouls got taken out, and I don't think flagrant fouls is physicality. I think flagrant fouls is violence.
And they made it easier to play the game. So when you have violence and you take violence out of the sport, and then it just becomes, great basketball that's physical, that's still a change. And that's the only
right. But that's what we disagree at because physicality is still
physicality.
Well, hold on, Dom. Physicality is still present in the game. They didn't take it out. They didn't take physicality out until Adam Silver took it out.
What we like to do is we like
hold
to
on, Dom. I've been quiet for like 10 minutes. Adam Silver took physicality out of the game. Physicality was still part of the game in the 90s and early 2000s.
They still changed.
You can still.
So
hold on. Dominque, you gotta let somebody talk. Dom.
Different from one era to the next.
Hold on. Let me finish. Physicality was still part of the game in the 90s and 2000s. Flagrant fouls was still part of the game as well. We're just calling it flagrant fouls, and you only get 2 of them, right? So you could still take somebody out of the air if you wanted to, but it's a penalty for it. Like, so we're discouraging dirty plays. Taking dirty plays out is not the same thing as taking physicality out. Now, does it make it easy? Does it make the game easier for just Michael Jordan? I wouldn't say, hold on. I wouldn't say that because every team wasn't doing dirty plays like Detroit. It was a very small select few, and it was really, really only Detroit at that time that was doing dirty plays.
But the roadblock for Michael Jordan.
So really what would have happened, even if they didn't make that rule, the fact that Detroit was phasing out of the NBA anyway, it would have been the same thing. Detroit was the only one doing dirty plays. So I think the premise, Dominque, come on, man. Let me get a clean thought out. I mean, I got to get a clean thought out. But my whole purpose is physicality was part of the game still. It wasn't less physical. It just didn't have dirty plays. It still had dirty plays, but you just get penalized for it. I think David Stern was good for cleaning his league up like that. I think that was a good thing.
It's a change. That's the bottom line. I know we want to split hairs, physicality, this, that. Every era, something changed that made it different for that era to play. It makes it different from the previous era. And so we can say that Michael Jordan had no benefit. We can say that he didn't go to league office to make these changes so that he could play differently or elongate his career or whatever else. Everybody else was playing under these set of conditions. And he made this change. Whether we think it's right, wrong, indifferent, whatever we think about it, It's still a change. And so that's what happened. Just like Wilt Chamberlain said, happened. And then the next era, something else changed for that particular set of superstars to make it.
And when you say that, okay, that's okay. Let's say that's a fact. Then what? Because if I say, you know, like it has to lead. It has to lead to something. What, like you say that to say what? What does that mean? So the fact that change was made means what?
I'm saying that every single change, like every
just specifically for Michael Jordan, specifically for Michael Jordan, the fact that you mentioned that, okay, it was a fact that he cried to David Stern, a change was made, and that means what for Michael Jordan's legacy?
For Michael Jordan's legacy, it just meant that we got to see the basketball that the NBA wanted us to see, whatever that was. They wanted us to see a particular way of playing, and they made that change to make that happen. That's what they told us. If that wasn't the reason, then maybe
what does it mean for you for Michael Jordan's legacy? Like for Wilt, because you mentioned Wilt. Wilt was pretty much saying they made it easier for Michael Jordan.
So no, right? What they're saying is what's different. So what he was saying, what was different about his legacy versus Michael Jordan. He wasn't saying that Michael Jordan was less great. That's what everybody also failed to realize. And that's not what I'm saying about Michael Jordan. What I'm actually saying.
But what are you saying?
Jordan, so what I'm saying about his legacy is that unlike other people that had orchestration, he had to actually fight through those things. He had to prove that he could be the superstar to ascend through these different changes. Whereas other players, they create orchestration around whatever it is that they need to do. So there's a change that happens, and then all of a sudden, you know, that particular player, they're in bed with that particular player. I don't think that the NBA was in bed with Michael Jordan, his first, however, 7 years of the league.
But you know what though, Don, what's funny about Wilt saying that is there was no bad boy Pistons taking people out of the air in Wilt's game. Right. And on top of that, did you know it
true? You didn't watch.
Did you know if when Wilt got the ball in the post, or any post player got the ball in the post, you know how we back people down? They was calling that offensive fouls. You notice when Wilt get the ball in the post, he actually do all his moves without power. He couldn't put his body in the, so the game was officiated even better in Wilt's game. Like there was nobody doing what Detroit did in Wilt's game. Go look at the highlights. Hold on, go look at the highlights.
About the highlights, I disagree with you wholeheartly. So
what are flagrant fouls at? I ain't seen one yet. When you see highlights for bad flagrant fouls, you see 90s, you see 80s. You see 80s, 90s. 80s, 90s. There's no George Mikan getting taken out of the air.
You watch Wilt and George Mikan?
Yes.
You watched it.
There's nobody getting taken out of the air like that.
Told me you didn't watch them.
There's nobody.
Never watched them. Never make a comparison because you didn't watch.
That's
so
a lie.
I'm trying to figure out which one it is, because we talked about this. You said, "Hey, we're
My
not."
My question is this:
guys, because I didn't even watch.
Do you have footage? Do you have footage of the Detroit Pistons flagrant foul types in the '60s when Wilt was playing?
So actually, there is, Mel. And
yes or no?
Yes
or no?
Yes, and I'll
where?
do the video. I'm going to do the video because I've already done it.
Who's getting fouled like that? So Wilt was dealing with that type of 90s, 80s.
Asking, are you ready for me to answer?
I already know the answer. It was rhetorical.
You don't want me to answer because
no, I don't.
You're saying
it's
not true. What you're saying is a lie, actually, and people need to stop lying about.
Nobody was targeting.
No.
Nobody was targeting Wilt.
Actually, did target Wilt.
Him out of the air.
They targeted.
Nobody was snatching him out of the air.
Him, and he could not be.
They eliminated Duncan back then.
No,
like that power play and all that stuff. It wasn't even a big deal.
Not allowed to be powerful, but people were allowed to be powerful with him, and that was the times that he was playing in that nobody else understands. But you didn't watch, and you admitted that on Man Down. So we can't.
When I admit I didn't watch. What are you talking about?
When you did the GOAT criteria, you sat up there with everybody and said, "Hey, we didn't watch this, so we're not going to talk about this."
Dominique, what are you talking about?
That's what you said when you did the GOAT.
What are you talking about?
And you said that.
Hold on. When I say hold on. When I talk about the greats and I talk about the players in the 50s, 60s and stuff like that, what I've always said on multiple podcasts is that I started watching the game from start to finish in probably the late 80s, I say 90s. So all the players from the 90s to now, I've seen their whole career. So I have better judgment on them. The players before that, I've seen highlights and games here and there. So when I say I'm comparing those guys, it's not a fair comparison. So I like to split the baby and say I'm going to separate the guys that I didn't see their whole career and had the guys in the pool that I did see their whole career. That's fair to me. But for you to get up here and misconstrue what I said on purpose, because you know that's not what I
heard you say.
You know good and well I've never got up here and said I've never watched this guy play. Like I just ignored those guys
multiple times.
You go get up here and tell that lie.
That's not a lie, Mel. You did not watch Will. You
All
told
right.
me that in private and on the show. And on
Roger that. I like it.
On the show. I like it and I love it because people did not watch Will, but they sit here and they say there was no physicality in the sport. Not true. 100% not true. And we need to stop saying that.
Ain't nobody say no physicality. I said Detroit Pistons grabbing people out of the air, flagrant fouling.
They did worse.
I said flagrant fouling.
He was black, but you wouldn't know because
flagrant fouling. Did you see it on a consistent basis?
Flagrant fouling was
worse. Getting targeted like that.
It was worse. The targeting was worse. The targeting was worse for black players back then.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Go back.
What are you talking about, man?
Go back and watch when Will played and Bill Russell played. You guys
what
have
was
no idea.
Explain it to me. Explain it to me.
I'm not gonna because I'm not gonna. You gotta go do your research on it.
No, explain the targeting that face.
I challenge you to do the research. Do the research.
Explain the targeting.
No.
Explain the targeting.
You are just like me, and I know that you love the history of the sport. Go back and dig it up.
Evidently not.
Go back.
Ever not. I'm not gonna dig it up because I ain't seen it.
Targeting.
You the one brought it up. You tell me.
You never saw it and you never looked for it because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't.
What's the narrative? What's the narrative?
What you want to fit. Instead of respecting all errors, we want to sit here and say, "Oh, well, Wilt Chamberlain's error was this," and we have to put that down in order to elevate something else.
What am I putting down? I'm telling you, there's no targeting and Detroit Pistons style targeting and flagrant fouling.
There was a ton of that, and you don't know.
There was a ton of it. Okay, well, show me.
And especially in those times.
Just show me.
You can go and show yourself, Mel, because it is available and it is public information.
Okay.
And I've made a video on it. I've made 2 videos on Wilt debunking everything that you're saying right now. And I'll make.
What am I saying? There's no so you made a flagrant foul Wilt video.
No, I can and I will.
So you didn't make a flagrant foul Wilt video.
Not a flagrant foul, but showing that there was physicality.
So you didn't, but you didn't make a flagrant foul Wilt video. That's what I'm talking about.
I would never make a flagrant foul video about anything.
So you didn't. Okay.
I didn't make a video, but I addressed that. I addressed the physicality.
Yeah, but don't say you did if you didn't.
No, I said I made a video about Wilt. I made 2 different videos.
Yeah, but it wasn't a flagrant foul video. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Wilt. We're talking about flagrant fouling.
I address flagrant fouls in the video. So go take a look. Go look up that time and you'll see that there were a lot of things that went on. And we cannot say that.
I don't care about a lot of things. I'm talking about flagrant foul. I'm talking about one thing, flagrant fouling.
Flagrant fouls happen.
Right. Flagrant foul. No, not flagrant. I'm talking about flagrant fouling the way we're talking about that needed to be taken out of the game. Was a flagrant foul and targeted people in the air in the 60s? The arrow when nobody was even jumping out the gym like that.
Now you want to make it that they had to rip somebody from the air.
I've been saying it the whole time.
So flagrant
fouls. If you wasn't talking, you would have heard me say that. So that's what I've been saying the whole time.
Only ripping people out of the air. It's not flagrant fouls.
That's what I've been talking about the whole time.
So if they just go
Jeff, you still there?
Clothesline somebody.
Yes.
So clothesline somebody.
Have I been talking about ripping people out of the air the whole time and flagrant fouling?
You actually have.
And flagrant fouling. So they've been clotheslined. These players have been clotheslined on the court, but I guess that's not a flagrant foul. It's only if you rip Michael Jordan out of the air. And again,
no, we ain't targeting. See, the Knicks pulled
Michael Jordan. It's only
Pipping out the sky. I mean,
from the air in order for it to be a flagrant foul. Now, is it a flagrant foul or is it ripping
Dominique,
it
your need to
now.
be right cannot be that powerful, dog. Like you going, you going, you going through a lot. You going to a lot of deaths. You going through a lot of deaths.
Don't do that
to be right.
You're gonna be proven wrong, Mel. Don't do that.
He complained about the league, which he did. He did complain, and he got things changed. That's what happened. And just like he complained to NASCAR, and he got that changed. Power of the GOAT.
No, but he got NASCAR changed because he was the one who actually got it done. All the rest of them, Childress, who was a big a NASCAR guy who'd been there for decades, he tried to do it, and then he had to back down. All the other ones had to back down. He was the one who had the wherewithal to go through with it. That's all.
Now I'll be
he
wrong.
did it. He did it for them.
I'm wrong. Wilt Chamberlain didn't. Wilt Chamberlain was never flagrant fouled. That's a lie. I'm sitting here lying right now. Wilt Chamberlain didn't get flagrant fouled. He didn't get clotheslined on the court while running, sprinting, tripped mid-sprint. That never happened to him. I'm lying.
No, he got Dom.
Nothing
I'm not saying he played in no powder puff time. Ain't nobody saying that. What we're trying to say is
you said he was
the difference was no, wait. What we were asking was, can you give us a team?
Flagrant fouled, and I said I can give you that. He was flagrant fouled. He was played more physically because of his size. They felt that it was allowed to happen to him, but he could not do it back. And it was not just because of his size; it was because he was black.
Yes, it was because he was black and he was size. The same thing that's happened to Shaq.
All right. Well, I rest my case.
And the thing is, they put him on the line. They put him on the line just like they did with Shaq. And he was a bad free throw shooter, just like Shaq. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you at all about that. But what we're trying to say is, there's a difference between the level of being targeted in dangerous positions while you're unprotected.
Chamberlain was targeted and he was hurt multiple times. I'm not going to let you lie about Wilt Chamberlain. I'm not going to do it.
I'm not lying. I just said up there. He said he got defended hard. I'm not disagreeing with you about that. I'm just saying he wasn't a flyer like that. Like that wasn't his game.
So what?
So he wasn't. His body wasn't.
He was still beat up.
He was not being yanked out of the sky because. Oh my goodness.
Yes, he was. We have to stop this up. It wasn't just only Michael Jordan that was targeted in the history of the.
Nobody has said it's only Michael Jordan.
You did. You said
we
nobody
do know.
was targeted.
No.
Yes, you did.
No. I said he was targeted because there was no punishment for targeting somebody.
I know
because
there was
the rule it was a foul. It was just a foul. Go to the line. It didn't matter how much blood or whatever happened or bones got broken, things like that.
You guys are right, and I'm wrong. You got it.
Oh my goodness. It's not even you keep moving this thing around though.
I didn't move anything around. I didn't move anything around.
No, you did.
No, you guys are trying to split hairs, and that's fine. That's
no,
fine.
Dom, please. Dom, come on now. Come on now.
Same. Michael Jordan.
You started out saying that they did it so he could score more, and then when we brought the facts that he scored more in the 80s when he was still getting beat up.
This is being recorded.
And then what happened afterwards?
This is being
like he went from 37 to 32 in 91, and then down from there, and it was like you said, and this is with the flagrant foul.
This is being.
He comes up. He develops his fadeaway, his post game.
I'm not changing anything. I said what I said. You want to make it into something different. That's fine. Interpret it how you will. I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, again, this was what I thought was going to happen, and I guess I should be blamed for it.
I know my history. I know my history. You guys are not.
No, you got your way. You got your way of believing you know it.
No,
but again, I was in my 20s. I was in my 20s when this happened. So I'm like, I was there. I remember this.
You weren't there.
And like I said, when the NBA was being played on tape delay, I was there too in the 70s. So I remember that there was a different product, and the product that was getting ready to get put on a global stage was not the one that they wanted the world to see. And that's why it happened. Yes, Jordan said, "Hey, y'all got to do something about this. This is ridiculous. I'm getting killed out here."
All right, we've been on this topic for a long time. Go ahead and finish your thought, Jeff. Man, we're gonna end it here.
Ringleader on this, maybe there might be a problem.
Listen, I actually have to eat dinner, Funky Town.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I gotta call my grandbaby.
All right, okay, Jeff, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the call, bro.
All right, y'all got it. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, man. We might take another phone call. I don't think we should.
I don't think we should either, because I done hit the wrong spots tonight. Welcome back.
Man, you're a fool. All right, y'all. Hold on. Anybody else want to call in? We'll take one more if y'all can call in real quick. We'll take one more quick one. There's some comments in here. There's one that's my guy from Washington. What's good, man? What's up, bro? Hold on, let me make sure I can get him in. Caller from Washington. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
We good. What you want to comment on? Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Will, what you want to comment on?
Man, so it looks like we all tired, man. I just got back from I was coaching I had a game today that I was coaching with my C squad. I just want to call in because I just really appreciate y'all's show. I just want to keep it short and simple. I really enjoy you as well, Dom. I subscribe to your show as well, Sports T. I tried to call a couple of times, but I think I was just too late. But this is one of the reasons why I love the show. You get to go back, watch history. You guys are arguing over Wilt Chamberlain. You don't really get conversations like this. So, and I'm a younger person, so I like getting into conversations just when you guys talk about the game. So I really appreciate it and everything. But I got to get to bed here. I got work tomorrow. I got to do my practice schedule for my team to go over some things. But just want to give y'all a quick call and to say just keep being great, y'all.
Man, I appreciate it, bro, man. Every time you call, it's good stuff, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, no doubt, man. Hey, good luck with the squad, too.
Good, thanks. We just won today.
There you go. All right, bro.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. That was a good call. We'll take one more.
That was so nice.
Yeah, that's my dude from Washington, man. Good. He always try to pick on because he go on the naval base out there and hoop with some of the Navy cats, and he always talk about how they can't hoop. I'm like, man, dog, man, we got you in the wrong spot, boy. You go to the East Coast in Virginia, man, straight hoopers, man. I don't know what's going on in Washington. Any caller other than Young Disciple, huh? I ain't heard from Young Disciple anymore.
I miss Young Disciple.
Yeah. He only call it. He probably watching, but he only call in on the LeBron topics.
Well, I mean,
it's some super chats. Hold on. Warfield $5 super chat. Physicality changed because the role players were hired for fouls were affected by the fines. 10K is a lot for $100,000 contracts. He said 10K for $100,000 contract. Sheesh. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Y'all also forgetting the effect Phil on Jordan. He challenged him to improve his team mentally, rather his pure athleticism. I mean, a lot of things, go into you can take into account with what made him start winning. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot that you can throw in there. Phil was one of the factors as well, though. Welcome back, T. We all missed you.
Aw,
all right, thank y'all for the super chats, man.
So sweet.
All right, y'all. We're gonna end it, man. Any more comments in here? He said he ain't get no notification. Yes, a little bit.
Sometimes you have to undo the bell and do it back again. Sometimes it just YouTube is weird. Just click the little notification bell again.
Yes, flavor power was implemented, but physicality of the regular play stayed. Yeah. I mean, that was my point. You know what I mean? And I differentiate physicality from what's not supposed to be in the game. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't call it, like I don't know, like if I had freaking nunchucks in my back pocket, or if I had brass knuckles, if I was playing with rings on my fingers and I'm punching dudes in the post and they ribs and stuff like that, and they say, no more ribs, I wouldn't be like, you took physicality out. I'd be like, that was an illegal play. They took an illegal play out. So I don't call that physical. I call anything within the rule book physicality. Anything outside the rule book is something else. That's just my take on it. He said both sides was right on the topic. Both sides were indeed not right on the topic. There was someone that was very wrong on this topic, and that someone was me, because I am not a female. All right, y'all. I catch y'all on the next one, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Sports Tea and Man Down Sports, man. We're likely to do it again this week, maybe
I
this
don't
weekend.
kill you for talking about Wilt. Oh my gosh. I'm like gonna blow a gasket over Wilt Chamberlain over here.
Nobody's talking about Wilt.
I can't do this.
Nobody's talking about Wilt, man. You just you hearing things for real. You had to be hearing things, because I ain't saying nothing about Wilt. Wilt's the dude. Wilt's the man. But okay. I catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.
Bye, guys.